to Mike Missanelli Show. Start of another week, and we got some issues to talk about, ladies and gentlemen. Forget about Mick Abel. That was nice. That was really nice. What's the story of the Philadelphia Phillies right now? It has to do with the left-hander who's now going to be suspended for 80 games. You want to hear the Phillies' reaction to that? The Phillies fully support Major League Baseball's Joint Prevention and Treatment Program and are disappointed to hear today's news of Jose's violation. That's it. That's all they said about this. Maybe it's me, but I grew up in journalism. And I go, there's got to be more to a story. Here's my question from the start. How are the Phillies skating out of this? How do they not know what Jose Alvarado is up to in the offseason when they know, A, he's trying to lose weight? You mean to tell me there's no training staff, no medical staff that's supervising how he's trying to lose weight? What are you doing, Jose? Well, I'm taking this weight loss thing. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Oh, you can't take that. In this day and age, they don't have that covered? I'm sitting here and I'm apoplectic that nobody's looking at this like the Phillies should have been on top of this from the start. This kills their season. This is something that could kill their season. Their bullpen is already weak. Their most reliable fireballer is in there. Not to even ignore the fact that the guy's velocity upticked as he's getting older. You mean to tell me that no one flashed a red flag on what was going on with Jose Alvarado? The fact that the Phillies are skating out of this, the fact that people covered that game yesterday and did not write that story, I find unconscionable. Unconscionable, Bill. The guy is trying to lose weight. How's he doing it? What is he doing? Is he staying away from cake and pie? He's got to have help to lose some weight out there. What is he doing? He's a major player. He's not some minor leaguer that's going to skate under the radar. He's a major player who they know is trying to lose weight. They don't check to see how he's trying to do it. Yeah, you can blame the player all you want. Players are going to try to circumvent everything. They're going to try to cheat their ass off. This is a day and age where if you take those performance-enhancing drugs and get away with it, you're going to be a better major leaguer, and hence you're going to make more money. Everybody is tempted to do that plays Major League Baseball. Yes, there's a testing program. There's also ways to circumvent the testing. How in the world in this day and age does the employer not know what the hell's going on with one of their main players? I'll throw it to you, Bill. Maybe I'm out of line here.
You know, look, it's a frustrating day for Phillies fans, to say the least, because you're right. Losing Alvarado is a major blow to a bullpen that already had issues, and he was one of your most reliable. I understand where you're coming from, that the Phillies should have maybe done their due diligence here when you see a guy come into camp or come into spring training and his velocity's going up. But at the same time, I think you're absolving the player a little bit too much.
I'm not absolving the player at all.
Well, you're saying that
obviously
he's going to cheat. Oh, players are going to cheat unless their employer tells them not to.
They are all inclined to try to cut corners. Every one of them in this day and age. Because what's at stake is the big carrot. So if he's trying to... Listen, it's one thing trying to get stronger or whatever. This guy has always had a weight problem. He's always trying to keep his weight down. That is the issue with Jose Alvarado. If he's losing weight, how is he doing it?
All right, we don't know what the Phillies... Like, were you saying that the Phillies should have been drug testing him themselves?
The Phillies should have been on it. They should have been, hey, Jose, you're losing weight? How are you losing weight? Oh, I'm taking this thing. You can't take that. You can't. Now, you absolutely can't take. How are you not on that from the jump?
Yeah, but you're assuming that they just put their head in the sand and didn't ask him how he was losing weight.
Maybe
he said,
he lied to him?
Yes.
Oh, he lied to him.
Maybe he did.
He's saying that he took it because it was a weight loss thing, which it is. It's a weight loss thing. If they know he's taking a weight loss thing, how do they not say, whoa, 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 what is it exactly? Because we're going to fly down there and we're going to check it out exactly what you're doing.
I think that you're making the assumption that they never asked him how he's losing weight, and he would have just told them, oh, I'm taking this drug, and they would have said, oh, we don't even want to check it. I would venture to think he never told them anything.
Oh, he never?
He probably lied about it.
How's he losing weight?
He probably said, I'm just training. I'm eating
your
better.
Ass.
So,
your ass.
Wait, let's play this through then, Mike. Why would the Philadelphia Phillies risk it? If they knew he was on a weight loss medication, why would they risk it?
They knew. I'm saying they were not. They were not involved in the situation. How in the world does a guy under the radar take a drug that's helping him lose weight that happens to be banned by Major League Baseball and they don't know anything about it? It's ridiculous to think in this day and age when you don't keep up with a major player who you know has a weight problem and is trying to lose weight. And I cannot believe it that the Phillies would let this happen.
So let me ask you where you're going.
How could you possibly be on the Philly side?
I'm not on the Philly side, but I'm asking you: are you saying this was negligence on the part of the Phillies?
Total negligence.
All right, so they didn't. You're not saying they knew he was taking it and let him take it.
No, because a test is going to reveal it and they're going to look ridiculous. I'm saying, how could they not have hovered over him in the offseason to know what he's doing when he has already a weight problem? He's got a weight problem. That's the training staff, and the medical staff has to monitor that very thing. It's like somebody with an ankle injury. What do you do for the ankle injury? We're on top of it. Blah blah blah. It's the same thing.
See, I can agree with you in that they should have been more aware and that it's negligence on their part. I just think that we're assuming that Alvarado was honest with them. Like, they could have been all over this. They could have been like, Jose, how are you losing this weight? I'm eating better. I'm working out. You don't trust players
anymore. You don't trust players that they're going to be honest with you. What do you live in a fantasy world?
Yeah, but what I'm saying is what's the alternative then? They have to test him themselves. It comes back positive. Now they're screwed.
They have to know what he's taking. They have to know. Oh, I'm taking this. Oh, wait, that's banned. You can't take that. Oh, okay.
Okay, but you keep assuming that when they asked him what he was taking, he would have told them. How do we know he didn't lie and say, I'm not taking anything?
Bill.
That's what I'm saying.
This is what I'm saying. You're going to let players do that? Like, are you kidding me? Players will pull the wool over your eyes at any level.
Okay, so then take it one step further. They say to him, Jose, you're losing weight. Your velocity's up. Something's up, man. What are you taking? I'm not taking anything. What do they do next? If they test him, don't they have an obligation to turn it over to Major League Baseball if he tests positive?
I guess they do at that point, but maybe they don't have to. Maybe they can circumvent it. Maybe they can have their own little house investigation before it gets to that level where he's actually tested by Major League Baseball. My point is, you've got to know what's going on with your players. You got to know. I'm not going to sit here and absolve Jose Alvarado. He's trying to get an edge. He's got a weight problem. He's trying to lose some weight. Maybe it enhances his performance. Maybe he knows that. Players are always going to push that envelope. It is up to the multifaceted training staff and medical staff in this day and age to prevent that kind of thing from happening. And the fact that the Phillies didn't is total negligence. And how you could be a columnist and cover that game yesterday and not write that story is I'm apoplectic about it. The Phillies get off the hook here? Are you kidding me?
I need to know more information about what exactly what's taken and how they should have known.
They should know everything, Bill. That's the point. They should know everything. They're on top of their players.
But okay, he's taken a weight loss drug. That's what we're being told. Let's assume. I'm not saying he's on steroids, but let's say he was taking steroids, right? Do they really need to tell a player not to take steroids? Like, would you say the Philadelphia Phillies would have to tell a player,
you're missing the point
don't
here.
Take steroids?
You're missing the point. Steroids are going to make you stronger. People do that to get stronger, to be better players. This guy already has a documented weight problem. So he's losing weight. Oh, you're losing weight. Oh, good. That's good. But how you doing? Are you taking anything to lose weight? Yeah, I'm taking this thing here. Oh, whoa. You got to be on top of it,
But
Bill.
You keep assuming that Alvarado would have come out and said, yeah, I'm taking X. And they would have been like, all right, we're not going to check it. I would have. What I think happened is they probably asked him, and he said, I'm not taking anything.
Oh, they asked him. Oh, did you cheat? No. Okay, that's good enough for us.
So what is the alternative? What did you want him to do?
Go down and figure it out what's going on with him. He's got an agent. They got medical people. You're supposed to be checked. This guy is a premier player. He's got a weight problem. He's losing weight, and his velocity upticked. There's not a red flag? 610-632-0975. Mike Missanelli Show, back after this.
Connor Thomas.
If you're
You heard my spin rather loudly on this Jose Alvarado situation. This is the big story, okay? I don't understand how another story could interfere with this as it involves the Phillies. This was their most reliable guy in the bullpen. This is the only guy who could come in and really gas you up. Well, Romano's getting there now. And he's going to. They're going to miss him the whole season. Now, how do you replace that? I don't know how they replace that. It's a major blow. And so John Kruk had a few things to say about it. What was this, on the post-game show or during the broadcast? It was during the broadcast because Schmidt was involved, right?
Yeah, I think it may have been during the broadcast. I don't know. I just sent it to Ray. It was at some point yesterday during the game.
Here's my point. The Phillies and all Major League Baseball teams have to have a handle on their players, especially the important ones, especially the ones who already have an issue. This is not like out of the blue. This guy, they've always wanted him to keep his weight down. So he tried to keep his weight down in the offseason. You got to have a handle. Hey, how you doing? I lost 5 pounds. How you doing it? Well, I'm taking this. No, I did it naturally. I'm eating freaking mangoes the whole time on my diet. Like, there's got to be a way that you find this out. You go, oh, wait a minute. Jose lost some weight. We better check on now what he's doing. Let's go deeper into this. Let's call his agent. Let's call his friends. Let's do some investigation on what's going on here. Now, there's no question in my mind that when this guy is taking this, he's not only taking it to lose weight, he knows it's performance enhancing. Now, all players are going to try to cheat the system. They have all these little twists and turns now on how to hide what they're doing.
I keep thinking of the movie The Program when they're talking about Latimer. He puts on 20 pounds of muscle and an attitude to go with it. And then James Caan says, look, we're not doctors. He put his head in the sand. They didn't want to test.
Well, of course they put their head in the sand. But my point is the Phillies have an abundant staff. How big is Dombrowski's staff? How big is their training and medical staff?
See, here's the only reason why I can't get on board with you fully. We see players get suspended all the time in baseball. It just happened to Profar with the Braves. Is it always the franchise and the team's responsibility? If a guy is lying to the team about what he is doing, you could ask him till you're blue in the face. If he doesn't tell you what he's doing, how else do you find out?
You're missing the big point. He already has a weight problem. He's losing weight. How is he doing it should set off red flags. You should not be negligent, and all of a sudden this slaps you in the face like an iron pan. It shouldn't happen that way.
Okay, I agree with you to an extent, but at the same time, losing weight is not something that's completely impossible to do for professional athletes.
Has had problems losing weight.
I get it. Other people have too. And you start going to the gym or you start eating right and you can lose weight. What I'm saying is that it should have raised some red flags, and maybe it did, and maybe they asked him. But if he doesn't tell them he's taking a drug, what are they supposed to do? Like, if he hid this from them.
They're supposed to figure out that he's taking the drug. That's what they're supposed to do because they are so involved and invested in these players. Again, this is not some minor league guy who's going to fly under the radar. This is a big guy for them. He's a major player for this team.
It's a big deal. I mean, look, it's a bullpen that we've already been talking about needs to be added to.
Those guys, you should be hovering over guys like that.
I just, at what point is it more on the player? Like, I just think this is more on Jose Alvarado to check with them.
Who's the more responsible people here? The people who are in the front office, the people who have the logical brains, or the player who's just trying to get ahead?
But you're making the assumption that he was honest with them. You're making the assumption.
No, you got to make the assumption that they're all dishonest. That's the point when it comes to players.
I get that, and you could ask him over and over and over. Jose, you've had a weight problem before, man. You're losing weight. What's going on? I'm eating right. I'm drinking 12 coffees a day. Coffee is life.
Who's the adult in the room? Is it Jose Alvarado, or is it the 27 executives that they have who are supposed to be hovering over these players? Who's the adult in the room?
Yeah, to an extent. But at what point, what are you expecting them to do? Because here's where you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. If they suspected he was on something, and they're grilling him, and he's not telling them the truth, then they say, well, we're going to test you. I think at that point, if they test him and it's positive, they have an obligation to turn it over. Don't they? Like,
I don't know what the rules would be. I don't even know if they can actually test them, according to the Players Association. I don't think they could just randomly test
you're
them.
probably right. They probably could not test him. So I just think that you're acting as if the Phillies saw it and saw that he was losing weight and saw his velocity was up, and they're like, you know what, something's going on, but we're not going to ask him. We're not going to investigate.
Maybe that's the truth. Maybe that's what they how they decided to handle it.
Well,
maybe they did decide to put their head in the sand. My point is, all these issues should be raised by responsible journalists.
Yeah,
you take their word for it. You publish a one-sentence statement from them. Really, you cover that game. That's the major thing that happens. Does it really the result that they swept the Pirates? Does that really matter in the scope of what happened yesterday? That their major player was suspended for 80 games?
No, that's the huge news.
Okay.
And even Mick Abel having an unbelievable debut. I mean, really, it was unbelievable. Franchise record 9 Ks. This is the big news of the day because you mentioned the 80 games, and I'm sure everyone out there knows he's also suspended for the playoffs. And that is the big, big issue here. It's not only 80 games. He can come back August 19th, and then he's out again come October with a bullpen that we've already had major questions with. A bullpen that we already were saying Dombrowski's got to add to. Well, now you're going to have to give up even more just to replace Alvarado.
Here's what I'm saying. There's more to this story that needs to be reported. And you just can't take the organization's word for it. Oh, we didn't know. Oh, it just happened by accident. It was not our fault. It's the player's fault. He was being selfish. Of course he was being selfish. All players are selfish. 610-632-0975. That's how you get in. Text board humming. Phone calls. We'll take your opinions on it. Mike Missanelli Show continues.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Alvarado suspended 80 games. I'm Ray Dunn with this Fanatic Sports Update. The Phillies announced yesterday that Jose Alvarado was suspended 80 games due to testing positive for exogenous testosterone. The suspension has made him ineligible to participate in the postseason. The left-hander had 7 saves and a 2.70 ERA in 20 appearances so far this season. Dave Dombrowski was asked prior to Sunday's game how losing him will impact this team's trade deadline plans.
I can't even answer that yet. That's still a while away. We already start looking at our club and keep looking at it, and we'll evaluate how. We have some guys that have thrown the ball well for us out of our pen. We like the guys out there. We'll just have to see how it all fits together.
As for the weekend of games, the Phillies did complete a 3-game sweep of the Pirates with a 1-0 win behind an impressive Major League debut for Mick Abel yesterday. Abel, through 6 innings, struck out 9 in the win. Phillies now go out to Colorado for 4 games starting tonight at 8:40. We'll be joined by the Philadelphia Inquirer's Scott Lauber coming up at 12:25 to talk about everything going on with Jose Alvarado and, of course, this pitching rotation and his pitching staff going forward. The NFL owners have meetings scheduled this week in Minneapolis, with the fate of the tush push will likely be decided. These meetings over Tuesday and Wednesday. They will talk about the Packers' proposed ban of the tush push. Elsewhere this weekend, the Union won 1-0 over Atlanta United. Tybury with a penalty kick to get the goal for the Union. They're now tied for the top spot in the Eastern Conference. This update is brought to you by Straight Talk Wireless. Get a wireless plan that saves you money and an extra trip. Switch to Straight Talk at your local Walmart while you shop for those little oranges the kids love. It's real unlimited data with real convenience. I'm Ray Dunn, your home for NBA playoff action. 97.5 The Fanatic.
You're Dave Dombrowski. I'm interviewing you. Can we do that?
Let's do it.
Dave, how in your mind could this have happened?
Well, Jose's always been a little bit self-conscious about his weight. He actually said that, by the way. That's a quote from Dombrowski. And we knew he was trying to lose weight. He came into camp, spring training. He was in shape. Told us he's been working with a trainer. He's been eating right.
So basically, you knew he was trying to lose weight, right? Because after all, this was the Phillies' mandate for him in the offseason, correct?
Yeah, it was the mandate.
Oh, okay. So did you check with him in the off-season to see if he was losing weight?
Yes.
Okay, so when you checked with him, how did he say he was losing weight?
Exercise and diet.
Oh, so in other words, you took that as his explanation? That was it?
So with every player on the team, a professional athlete in any sport, they exercise and they're supposed to eat right, aren't they?
Oh, okay, so did you have a duty to go further to investigate rather than to take his word?
Yeah, well, I don't know if the Players Association would allow us to drug test. Like
I didn't ask the drug test.
But that's the thing. I don't know when you say you wanted us to take it further. What else were we supposed to do?
You don't think you could have done an investigation to find out whether he was taking anything? You couldn't have found that out with all the great investigators that are out there right now, with all the resources you have? You couldn't have found out that maybe he was taking something?
See, this is where am I Dombrowski or Bill yet?
You're Dombrowski. You're Dombrowski. You're not Bill yet.
Okay,
I'm conducting an interview here.
Okay.
Because I'm trying to find out the truth, which should be conducted now. This should be conducted.
So if I'm Dombrowski, my answer on this is Jose Alvarado is a professional athlete who's 29 years old. He's going to be 30 in 2 days, by the way. Happy birthday, Jose. What a birthday present. He's a professional athlete. He's almost 30 years old. When we give him a mandate to lose weight and he tells us that he's doing it through exercise and nutrition, why would we assume otherwise?
Oh, so you don't think that players would lie to you about stuff like this? He's not the first player that would ever lie to you about how he was losing weight, right? You just would take his word for it?
So under your line of questioning, though, Mike, every single Major League Baseball player would be taking performance-enhancing drugs?
Every single Major League Baseball player. I'm talking about your particular player who you've given a mandate to lose weight. He says he's losing weight. Now, do you have any duty to further investigate how he's doing that, other than taking his word for it?
Now, to my understanding, Jose Alvarado's never had any issues with PEDs in the past. So why now, at 29 years old, almost 30, would we assume that he is doing PEDs?
So the velocity uptick didn't raise any flags for you?
No, because he's gotten stronger due to the fact that he's gained muscle and lost fat.
Stop it. Now here's me as a journalist. Come on.
I honestly, though, like I'm back. I'm no longer Dave Dombrowski.
All right. Yeah,
is Jose Alvarado is a professional athlete? Like you're acting as if losing weight.
You're acting as if like he's not at fault.
No, but I'm saying you're acting as if losing weight is the most unbelievable thing that any professional athlete could do. He's got to be taking steroids or he's got to be taking performance-enhancing drugs. If it was mandated to him, lose weight in the offseason, and he puts together a nutrition plan and an exercise plan, and he comes back stronger and thinner, why would the assumption be he's taking PEDs? I would never have gone from A to B on that because that's not A to B. To me, that's A to F. Like, you're missing all these other things that professional athletes can do.
So when he comes to spring training and he has an uptick in velocity, right away, that doesn't raise a red flag. As he's getting older, by the way, he has an uptick.
That I give you. That is a little bit of a concern, but I think the reasoning could have been him getting stronger and losing weight has contributed to his velocity going up a little.
As he got older. He's getting older.
Well, if he was out of shape last year, if the issue was, then why else did they want him to lose weight this offseason? What would have been the point to lose weight? Because they felt like it was affecting his ability last season. So if he loses weight and he gets stronger, then they felt like his velocity would come back.
Don't you agree that these questions have to be asked to the general manager of this team who put out a one-sentence statement on this?
I agree. I would like to know more about what Dave Dombrowski and this organization knew or didn't know, and how much due diligence they did do in asking Alvarado. Because we don't necessarily know that. We know, like I said, Dombrowski was quoted as saying, well, he's always been self-conscious about his weight, and he took some medication to help him lose weight, and that resulted in the positive.
Okay, we have Scott Lauber, who covers the team, coming on today. Maybe he can shed some light on this, on how this could possibly happen, how the organization could possibly let this thing happen that could derail their season.
Oh, it's going to derail their season unless they can figure out a way to replace him. I mean, this is a huge loss no matter how you slice it. And whether it's the Phillies, whether it's Alvarado, doesn't matter. As a Phillies fan, we should be concerned because this is a huge blow.
All right. We up against a break, Ray? When do we have a break?
No, we got a couple minutes.
Some time.
I forgot. All right.
You're all worked up today. Hold on. I got
really worked up.
I got to point something out here. So the YouTube chat, some people are saying that this is a shtick, that Mike is taking this position just to try to cause an argument. I wish it was. You are legitimately angry about this.
Let me tell you something, folks. All right? You want to take your organization's word for it? I have learned in 30 frickin' years not to trust anybody, especially an organization that's going to try to sell you a bill of goods. The organization is always trying to try to get over on you when push comes to shove. So I am merely asking the questions here. All right? If you want to think the Phillies are just completely innocent through this whole thing, you could think that. I believe in this day and age, with as many people that work for the organization and as the due diligence they do on these players, and the fact that this player already has a problem and an issue that they're concerned about, that they would let this just pass on like smoke in the night, then you're crazy. Because I don't do that kind of stuff. I don't do stuff for shtick. Let's go to Greg in Bethlehem. Greg, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. What's up, Greg?
Gentlemen, good morning.
What's up,
Mike,
Greg?
You sound exciting.
Yeah, I'm apoplectic that this could possibly happen.
Well, I mean, obviously there's blame to be placed on Alvarado and the Phillies, and I guess the question is, how do we move forward? Obviously they need a reliever. Does that increase the need to do it immediately, or are they going to try to
They won't.
try to get by with what they have?
Yeah, they'll probably try to do that first, and that's not going to be successful. So it's going to wind up costing them a prospect. This is what the ramification of this is. It's going to wind up costing them a valuable prospect.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they probably, in the grand scheme of things, they needed a reliever anyway. So I'm not making excuses for this, but if they get a
now they need
reliever,
two. Now they need two, Greg.
Yeah, I know. I understand. Do you think trading Ranger or one of the starters?
It may cost them Abel at this point. It may cost them that guy.
Yeah, it's a shame.
This is why it's so infuriating to me that this could possibly happen. This is why it's so. They just circumvented a major part of their World Series run.
Yeah, it really throws a wrench in the works, and they needed reliever help anyway, but it wouldn't have to be as emergent as it is now.
Yeah, they're probably going to wait a little bit to see how late. They're look at Romano and say, "Oh, he's pitching well. Maybe he's that late inning guy." We still have Strahm out there. That's who they have right now. They got Romano and they got Strahm. Who else do they have?
You think Kerkering is
I forgot about
throwing
him.
too many strikes?
Yeah, they got Kerkering. Kerkering's he's coming back a little bit now. So.
He looked a little shaky yesterday. I know he got out of it.
But look, they don't have the 100-mile-an-hour guy now that could come in and bury it. They just don't.
Well, and we at least thought that the Phillies were okay with their left-handed relievers. We were worried about the right-handed relievers with Romano and Kerkering not looking sharp. But you're right, Romano's starting to come along. They're going to need to spend more now with their prospects. You're spot on with that. They are going to lose now more prospects than they would have had to otherwise. I blame Alvarado. You blame the franchise. It doesn't matter.
I blame both parties. Don't get me wrong. I'm not absolving Alvarado of some blame here. What I'm saying is I know how players think. They want to try to gain an edge with anything they do. 610-632-0975. We're back after this.
Philadelphia Union.
Mike Missanelli Show, 97.5. Matt. Ray Dunn is with us. We haven't introduced Ray today. Hello, Ray.
Hey, how are you?
Ray, fresh off play-by-play of the Union game this weekend.
Dude.
How about that? And he didn't tell anybody.
Yeah, I'm a little upset with him. Because on Saturday, he posts the Ask Me Anything beer at the airport. You know how he does that on Twitter.
Uh-huh.
I go, where the hell's Ray going? He didn't tell us he was going away. So I sent him a text, and then he tells me he's going to Atlanta. The Union flew him down there to do the play-by-play for our Philadelphia Union right here on this radio station. Why didn't you tell me, Ray? I thought we were close, bud.
I did. Friday when you asked.
Ray, you've known this for a long time. How come you don't allow us to publicize you?
I don't know.
He's modest.
I mean, I feel like conversation about it would have been, I'm doing the Union game.
Well,
cool. You know?
Maybe there didn't have to be a conversation, but if we know about it, we go, by the way, don't forget to catch Ray Saturday in this play-by-play for the Union.
For the first place Union.
First place Union.
Whoa.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? That's called promotion.
Yeah. I don't know. It's one of those things. Maybe I don't want to do too much. Look at me.
Yeah, I can see that. You're a modest man. Look at me. But let us look at you.
Yeah.
You don't have to look at you.
Yeah, we would have built you up. Not that we have to.
I appreciate it.
Now, when you're doing the Union, that's a professional soccer team. Is there certain rules in place for the announcer? Like when you're traveling and stuff, you fly in first class, 5-star hotels?
No, not. I mean, the hotel they put me up in was wonderful. Team hotel, great spot. The flight home with the team on the charter, never flown that way in my entire life. Wonderful.
Charter.
Yeah.
Wow.
Great time. That was super cool on the way home. The way there, the only reason I didn't fly down with them is because my brother graduated Friday, which is why I was off Friday. And the way down there, it was a regular flight, your typical run-of-the-mill Delta flight down to Atlanta, except for the fact that I was delayed 5 hours and managed to close down 2 different Chickies and Pete's in the airport.
Yeah, it was a rough day because Sean filled in for you. His flight got canceled.
Oh, yikes.
But so you came charter back.
Yeah, was there the team? Yeah.
How was the food on the charter flight?
Oh, okay, let's not get crazy. I didn't do any food.
You play cards with the guys?
No. If all the guys were sitting here, I was all the way back here.
So you didn't have any interaction with the fellas?
No, I was in the back there. I think after the big win, everyone was excited to, do whatever they were doing on the flight. I took a nice little nap in the back. Nice time.
I figured Ray would bond with the fellas, play cards, for money. You see Ray sharking everybody with those Union dudes?
If you think I'm taking the little money I have and trying to win more in cards, it's not exactly how it's going to go.
So, when Ray did the Union before, it was here.
Uh-huh.
So his line was cue the dupes.
Yeah.
So what was your line this time when they scored?
I think just goal. They could take a 1-goal advantage.
Were you a guy were you like, go?
No, I don't have that in me.
What were you doing?
I just called him, slipped into the back of the net.
Score! What were you doing?
I mean,
Yeah, let's hear it.
all right, I can go find it if you want.
Oh, he's got the
Somewhere.
call.
Let's find it. Let's find the call. All right, what's the text board saying? They're probably assassinating me because they're insulting their beloved Phillies.
Some people are agreeing with you, but what do we got on the text board?
On the text board, we got Todd in Wilmington with the text that is close to this show's heart. If the Phillies had Big Dom, this would never have happened.
Maybe.
Well, it did happen with Lane Johnson.
See, that's the point. You got a Big Dom, the Hubbard. That's the training staff. That's somebody who should be personally involved with Jose Alvarado. He's that important of a player.
Now, just out of curiosity, because I don't remember listening to the show when Lane Johnson got suspended twice. Were you on the Eagles for that? When Lane Johnson got suspended for taking the PEDs, which happened twice. I think the last one was in 2016, if I'm not mistaken.
You see, football players are a little different. An overweight baseball player has a mandate to lose weight. And somewhere along the line, in the offseason, some trainer should be who's close to him should be down there supervising what he's doing.
Yeah, I'm assuming that with all the staff, the training staff, the medical staff, the nutritionists, and everything else that they probably have, I'm sure they put a plan in place for Alvarado to lose weight this offseason. So you expect it to happen.
But you can't let him alone either, Bill. This is an important player that you have to kind of be involved with. That's my whole point. Like, there are other players you don't have to be involved with because there's a certain level of trust that they're not overweight or they're not. This is a guy. Fly down to Dominican. Where is he? Dominican?
Venezuelan.
Oh, he's Venezuelan.
I believe
fly
so.
to Venezuela and spend a couple days. That's my point. Like, for that not to have happened, as far as we know, it didn't happen. I mean, unless it's reported and it's explained and it's questioned on how this could possibly happen. This is a major, major blow, Bill. This is not something that you just brush aside.
I know, it's huge, man. I'm with you there. I'm with you. I just don't know if we need to get answers to the questions. I'm with you on they should ask the questions. We just don't know if Alvarado was truthful with them. Like they could have been grilling him for weeks, asking him about
this. This is why
this.
a trip to Venezuela it has to be done. You can't say, "Well, yeah, I'm losing weight here. I'm eating bananas the whole day. I'm on a banana diet. I've dropped 5 already." Really? Okay. Thank you.
I eat a lot of bananas. So let me ask you now. He's in the final year of his 3-year, $22 million deal, Alvarado. There's a club option for next year. You're not picking that up.
No,
right?
you can't.
He's done.
You can't. Now, you could try to re-sign him, but you can't pick up that option.
Yeah, it's $9 million.
His price has reduced.
Yeah. So, and when he comes back in August, you still would probably ride him out, right? Just use him as much as you can down the stretch.
I don't know what I would do because that throws off your entire playoff rotation as far as your bullpen goes. Well, pitch him in August. Maybe he helps you win a division, and then you got to reestablish your bullpen and whose roles are who. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you're right. So maybe you're not even bringing him back.
610-632-0975. We got Michael from Glenmore, David from Wilkesford, or is that Wilkes-Barre? I never heard of Wilkesford.
Me either.
We'll find out who David is after this.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Alvarado suspended 80 games. I'm Ray Dunn with this Fanatic Sports Update. The Phillies announced yesterday that Jose Alvarado was suspended 80 games due to testing positive for exogenous testosterone. The suspension makes him ineligible to participate in the postseason. Left-hander had 7 saves and a .270 ERA in 20 appearances so far this season. And Dave Dombrowski was asked prior to Sunday's game how losing him will impact this team's trade deadline plans.
I can't even answer that yet. That's still a while away. We already start looking at our club and looking at it, and we'll evaluate how. We have some guys that have thrown the ball well for us out of our pen. We like the guys out there. We'll just have to see how it all fits together.
As for the weekend of games, the Phillies completed a 3-game sweep of the Pirates with a 1-0 win behind an impressive Major League debut for Mick Abel. Yesterday, Abel threw 6 innings, struck out 9 in the win. Phillies now out to Colorado for 4 games starting tonight at 8:40. We'll be joined by Scott Lauber of the Philadelphia Inquirer coming up at 12:25 to break down everything going on with the Jose Alvarado situation and what the Phillies might do with their pitching staff. The NFL owners have meetings scheduled this week in Minneapolis where the fate of the tush push will likely be decided. The Packers' proposed ban will be voted on over the next 2 days. Allegedly, Tuesday and Wednesday are those meetings. And the Union won 1-0 over the weekend. Brebo had a PK to give the Union the lead. They're now tied for the top of the Eastern Conference. This update's brought to you by Macy's Backstage. What we find at Macy's Backstage, how about essential warm weather styles, $30 and under, like dresses, shoes, and bags, men's and kids looks. Find the latest trends, new arrivals, and great prices at Macy's Backstage near you. I'm Ray Dunn, your home for NBA playoff action, 97.5 The Fanatic, 97.5thefanatic.com.
Who's your starting guard for next year for the Philadelphia 76ers?
I hope you're right.
Oh, yeah.
Little Quentin Grimes, baby.
You love yourself some Grimes. All right, so you got the NBA Eastern Conference and Western Conference Finals. What do you think of that? Catch any of it?
I did, and unfortunately, I'll be making a pit stop tomorrow morning, bringing you in your breakfast sandwich because I lost that bet.
Yeah, New York Knicks move on.
They dominated that game.
And the Oklahoma City Thunder move on.
That's who I'm rooting for. I'm rooting for SGA. I like him. I'm rooting for OKC. And I can't root for the Knicks. I know you've been rooting for the Knicks. I can't root for them to get to the finals.
Over Indiana?
I can't do it.
What, the Pope comes from that school. What are you, anti-Pope?
What, talking about Villanova?
Yeah.
Dude,
This is the Pope school now. This is
First of all, I have
different level, man.
I didn't go to Villanova. I don't really have a strong connection to Villanova. But even still, once they put on the Knicks jersey, it's over, man. Look, Jalen Brunson, I respect him, but I can't root for him.
Jalen Brunson with a Pope hat on.
Can't root for him.
And that'll overcome the Knicks.
Just give me Indiana versus OKC. Let OKC win it.
Oh, I don't want to see that.
Just make it happen.
Indiana and OKC.
I can't root for
finals. That's garbage.
Look, I agree with you. The Knicks OKC would be a more exciting finals, but I don't want to root for the Knicks. Ray, you understand this, right? You're not rooting for the Knicks.
I've already been on this wave for a while. Yeah. Welcome to the train. Nice to have you.
And seeing the Knicks fans.
Ray's already got Villanova hate.
It's not the Villanova thing. It's crazy to me that we're just like, yeah, I love the Knicks getting past where the Sixers have been over the last 25 years.
It's all right,
It's a Villanova thing.
They've been a joke for 25 years. Now they're in the Eastern Conference Finals. I still haven't seen my team get to the Eastern Conference Finals. It's pure jealousy of what that organization has accomplished.
Subconsciously, it's Villanova.
I don't care about the Nova thing.
Yeah,
they were Nova guys years ago. They're not wearing Nova uniforms now. They're not tormenting me now.
Stop it.
Stop it.
Stop it. Nonsense.
Who do you think? Who you taking, OKC or Minnesota?
OKC.
Yeah. So we're all in agreement it'll probably be OKC. I think it's going to be the Knicks. I think the Knicks are going to win, but I'm rooting like hell for Tyrese Halliburton and his father.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Look at you. 180s on everything we've talked about this postseason.
Completely.
You're now a big fan of the Halliburtons, and now you've turned on the Knicks.
You get it, Tyrese. I want you to post some more pictures from Vegas.
A little later in the 11 o'clock hour, we got to talk about Ivanka Trump and her association with Big Dom and the Eagles.
They're buddies now.
Yeah.
But Ivanka left a note for Eli.
Yeah, see, that's bothering me. And we'll talk about it a little later. That bugs me. You know, this flirtatious thing is unfair to Eli Ricks.
Well, I thought it would be unfair to Ivanka's husband, but I guess to Eli, too.
That dweeb. Yeah, of course. But you think he would stand up?
I thought it would be upsetting to both.
No, I hear you.
Yeah, so some housekeeping as you bring up Big Dom. A couple of things. Joe Douglas coming back to the Philadelphia Eagles as a senior scout, which I think it's a good move for the Birds. He wasn't a great general manager with the Jets, but he made some good draft picks while he was there, and he certainly helped the Eagles when he was here. And then the tush-push ban is probably coming this week. Diana Rossini put out the new proposal.
Right, you got a soundbite where he says, Bill says, Mike, you were right all along. You don't have that? You don't have that soundbite?
Bill, just listen to Mike.
Yeah,
all right.
I still disagree with you.
Okay. In the meantime, let's go to the phones. We'll talk to Michael and Glenmore. Michael, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. What's up, Mike? Mikey? Are you there? Mike? No, Mike's not there. David? All right, David, where are you from? Wilkesford? What is that?
Wilkes-Barre.
Wilkes-Barre. Now, how does she get Wilkesford? Gabby, what's going on? Wilkesford? Wilkes-Barre. All right, go ahead, David.
That's close enough, Mike.
Yeah.
Hey, long-time listener, man. Hey, I go way back with you to the days when you battled that with Eskin. How about that?
Yeah,
you always came out on top.
That's like remembering that my house burned down. So, yeah, spare me that memory.
Yeah, okay. Let's drop that. Why does Bill insist on not he drives me crazy defending the Phillies like this? What's going on with him?
Bill is anti-Mike. You have to understand that whatever Mike says, Bill is going to take the other side and not give me credit for my observation.
Well, I give you credit.
Yeah. Dave, I'm not defending the Phillies. What I'm saying is play this through. What did you want them to do if they did, in fact, ask him repeatedly, and we're assuming that they did this. If they never asked him, if they put their head in the sand, didn't ask him a single thing, then I'm going to be with Mike and say, well, you should have done a little bit more due diligence. But if they were asking him, hey, Jose, how you doing this? Oh, nutrition. I'm following the plan you gave me.
No, but
what are they supposed to do? What did you want them to do?
Go down to Venezuela. Like I said 10
And
minutes
do
ago.
what?
And hang out. Find out what's going on with him.
And be with him 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
For a couple days,
You don't
yes.
know where he is.
For a couple of days, you check on the guy. You have a responsibility to check on your main players who have an issue.
And if he's popping a pill in the bathroom, how the hell would they know that, Mike? Just because they're down in Venezuela.
You mean to tell me if you go down there and hang out a couple of days and talk to people, you're not going to be able to find out? What are you, idiots? You got to be a personal investigator at that point. That's what you're trained to do. David, go ahead. Keep going, David.
Yeah, keep going, Dave, because you're coming at me.
Listen, they could have found out. Are you kidding me? Stop it. They have all these employees there. They could have did a little research. Stop it.
All right, David. There you go. David from Wilkesford.
I don't understand.
David from Wilkesford.
He doesn't even talk to
There
me.
you go.
He asks Mike. I don't know what Bill's problem is. Like, I'm not sitting here.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is,
You're saying you're anti-Mike. If everything that I say, you go the other way with.
if Jose Alvarado would have come, or any player would have come into spring training and they put on 30 pounds of muscle and they got veins popping out of their arms and they're shredded to the core and they look like Barry Bonds did when he was on HGH, then I would say, you know what, guys, how did you not know? When a guy simply loses
Lenny
weight.
Dykstra did it?
Yes, but when a guy simply
The guy
loses
has
weight.
always had a problem with losing weight and gaining weight. It's a fluctuation. That is on the record. That's why you send a guy down and you figure out what's going on. You keep ignoring this. It's Mike Missanelli Show. It's WPEN HD1, Burlington, Philadelphia, a Beasley Media Group station, broadcasting from the Comcast Business Studios, powering possibilities. All right, let's get back to the text board and start the 11 o'clock hour. Go ahead, text board. Rip me.
Yep. Some people frustrated with you. Every year, every sport, every team has 2 or 3 guys that come into camp lighter, better shape, etc. Nothing new here.
Nothing new here, huh? When it comes to Jose Alvarado, who's had the same issue year after year after year after year that he's been a Philly. Yeah, nothing to see here. Okay.
What was the word you used earlier? You said his weight fluctuated. You know what that means? It means it goes up and down.
And it goes down how? How does it go down? You need something to make it go down. Don't give me exercise and bananas.
So you're telling me for a professional athlete to lose weight, they got to be taking drugs?
For Jose Alvarado to lose weight and fluctuate, it needs to be checked on. That's what I'm saying to you. Not any athlete, this guy.
So someone on the YouTube chat saying, how come we weren't questioning his weight loss then from the beginning of the year?
We should have been. We should have been. But more than us, it should have been the Phillies. This is my point. This is the employer.
When Joel Embiid came into camp, we were upset because he was out of shape and overweight. So if he comes into camp next year and he's in shape, are we going to assume Joel Embiid is on drugs?
I don't know what they should assume, but they should investigate it. You can assume and investigate are 2 different things.
Ray, what else you got on that text board? Come on.
Steve from Havertown. Mike's line of questioning is basically saying the Phillies need to hire a private investigator to stalk Alvarado and study his pharmaceutical purchase. It's a ridiculous argument. The only way his argument would be salient is if the Phillies were allowed to drug test their own players.
You're right. They don't have an abundant training staff that could actually fly to Venezuela for a day or 2 to figure out what's going on. They don't have that. In this day and age, where a multi-million-dollar organization that has about 150 employees that worry about health. Right. They shouldn't take the guy's word for it. Take his word for it. Even though he's had a problem gaining weight and he's heavy, yeah, just let it go. Don't worry about it.
Listen, I'm not saying that the Phillies aren't somewhat culpable here. I'm just saying that you're making it out like it's an easy thing to find out. If he's just popping a pill or injecting himself or doing whatever, and he's hiding that from them, I don't know what else they could do.
It's funny, in my journalistic career, there was a scandal at Temple University many years ago. It involves Paul Palmer. You know who he is, right, Ray?
Yes, worked with him before.
Paul Palmer does the broadcast now, but at the time, there was a situation where there was an accusation that was proven by an investigation by the Chicago district attorney, the state's attorney, that he was actually taking money from an agent. So I remember reporting the story, and I go to the athletic director. I go, what is all this stuff? He goes, no, it's nothing. We did our own investigation. I go, what entailed your own investigation? He goes, we asked Paul. Oh, okay, I'm sorry. We asked him. He said he didn't cheat. Oh, okay. We asked Jose Alvarado. He said he ate mangoes. Like, come on. What are we talking about here?
I just don't understand.
We asked him. This is Bill's. Oh, we asked him, and he said, I'm not doing anything different. Oh, okay. Well, let's go. Happily ever after, into the night.
Because you're acting as if a professional athlete comes in shape that he must be on drugs. Like, should we be investigating Max Kepler now? Kepler looks strong. He had the abdominal surgery. He looks strong. So should we investigate him?
You're changing my argument, and I resent it at this point. You're changing my argument. What I'm saying is that the Phillies had a due diligence to check on a guy who has had that kind of weight problem with their offseason mandate to figure out that he is, in fact, losing weight, and how's he doing it. That's and I'm getting annoyed by you at this point.
This is where I agree with you. Those questions should have been asked on whether they did, because you're assuming that they did not. That's what I'm saying. We are making assumptions that they did not investigate it themselves, that they didn't ask him these questions. I don't know what else you wanted them to do.
Do you think that they could have said yesterday, in fact, well, we checked on him. We were on top of his weight loss the whole time. Did they say that yesterday? No. They had some flimsy one-sentence statement that threw all the blame on their player, which is fine if that's the way you want to handle it. But you're not going to con me. You had a more of a responsibility in this particular situation, and what they're trying to do now is get everybody on their side to blame the player, which he should get blamed, no question about it. But there's also something else that's an undercurrent on this thing. 610-632-0975. Mike Missanelli Show continues.
We want to hear from you, so text us.
7-5 the Fanatic. This whole situation reminds me when Antoine Rocky Horror from Pulp Fiction.
What part?
The brother got a weight problem, so what are you going to do? Antoine Rocky Horror. Tony Rocky Horror, where he threw him off a balcony.
Yeah, he's got a weight problem.
Jules was telling Travolta the story about Antoine Rocky Horror.
I got to go back.
Brother got a weight problem. What are you going to do?
That's one of the movies we told Ray he's got to watch, right?
Yeah, he's not going to watch it. Ray has no interest in anything we tell him.
I'll tell you what, Ray.
Ray's just his own man.
I got to give.
He's got nothing.
I don't agree with Mike on many things, but I'm agreeing with him. Mobland, excellent. I am all caught up now. Great recommendation by Mikey Miss. I love that show. Tom Hardy's character is phenomenal.
Ray hasn't seen it.
Nope. I haven't seen it.
Well, you know why he hasn't seen it, too? He's got to look to see if any of his roommates' parents have Paramount Plus.
That's true. That actually is very true. We do I have to find a login for Paramount Plus.
Gotta steal Paramount Plus.
I was accidentally paying for it for a while. I finally canceled it.
It's Showtime, though, isn't it?
It is. It's Showtime.
Showtime, so I get it.
Well, Paramount Plus and Showtime are together now, I think.
Yeah.
And HBO Max is back to being HBO Max after being Max.
Yeah, that was always dumb. You had
So
the
weird.
HBO branding. Why would you get away from the HBO branding?
They went HBO Max to Max, and now they're back to HBO Max.
Well,
Because it's HBO.
oh, well. All right, so update us on this Ivanka Trump thing. What's going on? She left a note for Eli Ricks. Eli Ricks has expressed a crush on Ivanka Trump. She's a married woman now, but he expressed a crush. And then what did she do?
So, yeah, when they visited the White House, Eli Ricks tweeted out that she was gorgeous, like she was just his type.
Yeah.
So she took a tour of, I guess, the Novacare complex, and she left a note in Eli Ricks' locker that said, stopped by to say hi, sorry to miss you, go Birds, Ivanka.
See, that's not right.
And then she quote tweeted when Eli said Donald Trump's daughter is beautiful, damn, and she put missed you today and tagged Eli Ricks.
See, that is not right. That is such a tease thing to do, man. See, men are so pathetic. Men are so powerless when it comes to the flirt. Don't you agree?
Hold on.
A beautiful woman throws a little flirt
There's
out there
more.
and they turn to putty. All right, go, what do you
There's
got?
more.
Yeah.
So she quote tweets Eli saying she's beautiful and says, missed you today. He quote tweets the missed you today with the picture of her note and says, my apologies, I owe you a glass of wine now, XX.
If you're the husband,
Eli taking a shot.
If you're the husband, what do you say to this?
I don't know if he's a jealous guy. Like, I'm not a jealous guy, so I wouldn't care.
What's his name, the husband?
What is his name?
A little rich kid of a rich father.
What's Ivanka's husband, Ray? Oh, man, I can't believe
Kushner? That's the one?
Yes,
the
Jared Kushner.
Jared Kushner. Yeah.
So they're flirting now. You think Eli Ricks? I don't know.
See, now Eli Ricks thinks he has a shot. What's going to happen to Eli Ricks? He's going to get dropped on his head like a bowling ball. You know that's going to be a situation. She got a little flirt she thrown out there. Now he thinks he actually has a shot.
He probably does.
Of course he does.
What do you think? He's got a better shot with Ivanka or making the Eagles this year? I think he may actually have a role on this team, though, Eli Ricks.
Come on, Ivanka. That's below the belt.
It's all in fun.
Yeah. Let's go to Curtis in Philly. Curtis, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. Curtis. What's up, Curtis?
Hello?
Hello, Curtis.
Mike, what's up, man? The Phillies worth $3.5 billion.
Curtis, you got to do me a favor. You got to take me off speaker. I can hardly hear you.
The Phillies is worth $3.1 billion.
Yeah.
They got scouts all over the third world countries and all over the world. They could have did their homework. Just like we find players in other countries. Come on, man. You messing up the package.
That's
man,
what
we
I'm
ain't got 'em for the
saying.
playoffs.
See, that's what I'm saying. This is a multi-million-dollar organization. You can't just
Mike.
let it go to a guy. I'm working out hard.
They went up 6% income since last year.
I know.
We had $3.1 billion on the valuation of the Phillies. They could have did their homework.
I know.
That's all I'm saying.
Ultimately, the guy's responsible for doing what he did, right? But there's also, you got to stay on top of people. Certain players you have to stay on top of. This guy would be in the category of that. All right, my man's talking to somebody. So
You ordering something?
We got to drop him. No,
Was he got to drive through?
No. He's just like other people are listening to him on the radio. People do that sometimes.
Yeah, he was excited.
I'm going to call. Listen.
Yeah.
They don't realize it's a delay. Then it comes on in the background. I've been through that many times.
Look, and he's talking about the value of the business, and he's not the only one. Like I just got a text. I think I've referenced it before. My high school football coach listens all the time. He's like, Mike's spot on. This is $1 billion industry. They need to ask the right questions. But we don't know if Alvarado was intentionally trying to hide this from them. I don't understand what else they could have done.
First of all, you have to understand that when it comes to these Latino American countries, PEDs are plentiful. They can get PEDs very easily there. That should give them more responsibility to stay on top of this type of situation.
But when you say stay on top of it, I just like, how far does it go? Like, even if they fly out there.
Is there a voice coming out here? There is a voice coming out from here.
We haven't got Ray's opinion on this.
Did I actually say you have to go to Venezuela?
You did say that.
I'm not sure. I may have said it 5 times.
Yeah, so play it through.
Is Bill actually hearing
Mike,
what I'm saying here?
Play it through. They send a team down there. A contingency of Philadelphia representatives go down there, and they spend a week with Jose Alvarado. How does that still result in them knowing if he's taken an illegal substance?
They can investigate very easily the source of things that he's doing. They have a network of people that they can ask. They can ask associates. They can get into his agency. They can do a million things. This is like, you think this is like some American Legion team or something.
Play it through for me now. They go down there and they find out, yep, we talked to Jose Alvarado's guy who gives him the drugs. He's been taking it for the last month and a half to 2 months. He still is going to be suspended. He's still going to test positive. So for him to have lost the weight, he already had to be on the drug.
Well, maybe you can circumvent it before it gets to that point. That's my point. You gotta nip it at the bud.
Ray, am I crazy here? We haven't got Ray's opinion.
Are you crazy here? In general, I would say you're usually crazy.
Look,
I don't think you're crazy here. I think in terms of personal responsibility, he has it. And the conversation about him coming in this offseason, coming in to this spring training in better shape, it's a storyline that was similar to what you had when he came here in 2021, and he came from the Rays, and it was, he's got to get him shape. He's got to slim down. He looks leaner. How you investigate it at that point, he's already lost the weight. It's already happened. What he's taking has already happened.
As he's losing the weight in the offseason is when you have to monitor your players,
But
Ray.
as he's losing it, that means he's already taken the drug to lose the weight.
Okay,
exactly.
So maybe you can circumvent the test by having him stop immediately.
Well, he tested positive once and then had subsequent negative tests. So we're already down this path. We've already gone down this path where he's had multiple testing. There was one positive test in this whole series of testing that he's had. They've known that this is coming, at least for a little while here.
The other side of this is, you know what? Maybe they were complicit. Who knows? Maybe they thought they could get by with this. Maybe they liked the uptick in velocity and they didn't want to disturb it. Let's go to Harvey in Mount Airy. Harvey, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. Harvey.
Hey, Mike, Bill.
What's up, Harvey? How you doing?
Hey, pretty good. Hey, Mike.
Yes, sir.
Question. Mm-hmm. I'm a Sixer fan. I'm a Phillies fan. I'm an Eagle fan. Don't know a lot about hockey, so I'm a 3-for-4 guy. I don't understand. Villanova's considered a local school.
Uh-huh.
You got 3 ball players that made the NBA.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not a Knicks fan, but I still have to root for those guys, man. I don't understand it. And is it me or what?
I don't root for them because they're Villanova. I root for them because they really play hard, and I admire the way they play the game. They play together. Yeah. They play hard. They're in sync. That's what I like about them. Now, only one of them is from Philly, really.
Yeah, and that would be Bridges, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because Brunson is from Jersey, and I don't know where
Bridges is from such a suburban area that is that Philly or is that the country?
Where's he from?
He's from Great Valley.
South Jersey?
No, he's in Great Valley, which is deep into Montgomery County somewhere.
Oh, yeah, but Harvey, you're not going to root for the Giants now in football because Abdul Carter's from the area.
No, I didn't say I was going to root for the Knicks because I'm a basketball junkie. I love basketball. I just happen to be a Sixer fan. But when I turn the Knicks on, I don't hate them. I mean, I just enjoy good basketball. I'm like Mike. I like the way they play, and sometimes I don't understand how come the Sixers can't play that way. But another thing, and I'll get off because I know I'm getting long-winded. I heard on another radio show a caller compared Brunson to James Harden's style of play.
Yeah, they're
I
similar.
don't see that at all.
No, they're similar. Harden used to go to the basket a lot like that. But
similar?
Harden used to be a good finisher as well as Brunson's a really good finisher. They used to get deep. He used to get deep a little bit. Now, I think Harden's probably a better 3-point shooter than Brunson.
Oh yeah, he's a better 3-point shooter. But don't you think Brunson gets his teammates more involved than Harden did?
Yeah, but Harden used to get 10 assist games all the time. A lot of people forget that.
Yeah, but it's a difference between getting 10 assists. If somebody doubles you, you're going to kick it out.
I get it. I get it. You're shortchanging James because you're seeing him now. But back in the day, I mean, he was a dominant player like Brunson is.
Yeah, and let me make something clear that Harvey's talking about with the Knicks. I love the way the Knicks play. I like the players on the Knicks. The reason I hate the Knicks and I don't want to see them go to the NBA Finals is their damn fan base, Mike. It's not the players. Did you see the way their fans celebrated just making it to the Eastern Conference Finals? I can't stand the Knicks
When's
fans.
the last time they won a championship?
Oh, it's been a while.
You see them as a threat? Like the Knicks, you're so jealous of the Knicks? They haven't won since 1973.
Dude, they won a series last year. They started chanting bleep and bead. And they weren't even playing the Sixers.
Wouldn't you say bleep and bead if you were a Knicks fan?
Not if I'm not playing the Sixers.
All right, 610-632-0975 back after this.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Alvarado suspended 80 games. I'm Ray Dunn with this Fanatic Sports Update. The Phillies announced yesterday Jose Alvarado was suspended 80 games due to testing positive for exogenous testosterone. The suspension will make him ineligible to participate in the postseason. The left-hander had 7 saves and a .270 ERA in 20 appearances so far this season. Dave Dombrowski, prior to Sunday's game, was asked how losing Alvarado will impact this team's trade deadline plans.
I can't even answer that yet. That's still a while away. I mean, we already start looking at our club and keep looking at it, and we'll evaluate how. We have some guys that have thrown the ball well for us out of our pen. We like the guys out there. We'll just have to see how it all fits together.
As for the weekend of games, the Phillies completed a 3-game sweep of the Pirates with a 1-0 win behind an impressive Major League debut for Mick Abel. Abel threw 6 innings, struck out 9 in the win. The Phillies now go out to Colorado for 4 games starting tonight at 8:40. We'll be joined by Scott Lauber of the Philadelphia Inquirer coming up at 12:25 to break down everything going on with the Phillies in the wake of the Alvarado suspension. NFL owners have meetings scheduled this week in Minneapolis. We should find out the fate of the tush push. The Packers' proposed ban on it likely will be voted on over the Tuesday-Wednesday session. The Union won 1-0 over the weekend, tied with a penalty kick to give them that goal. They're now tied for the top of the Eastern Conference. This update brought to you by Rocket. Rocket.com is a single, seamless home ownership platform to help you find, buy, sell, finance, and even refinance your home. Get started today at Rocket.com. Rocket, own the dream. I'm Ray Dunn on your home for NBA playoff action, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
11:28. Mike Missanelli's show, 97.5 The Fanatic. Up and they stay there. That's usually your line, man. How come you didn't yelp in?
Because Daryl Morey ruined that song. That used to be the Nick Serriani song, and now it's for Daryl Morey, so I don't celebrate it.
Well, speaking of Daryl Morey, there is a rumor out there that the Sixers, I don't know how to take this seriously or not. It's being reported by a couple people who cover the NBA that the Sixers would be interested in making a trade of their third pick and Paul George for either Kevin Durant or Lauri Markkanen.
Correct.
Now, you said to me you wouldn't do it for it. See, the deal makes sense when you come to Daryl Morey. Like, he would salivate to have a 100-year-old Kevin Durant here. Right? You just know that he would love that.
Yeah, that
right?
sounds like a Daryl Morey move.
Right. It sounds like a Paul George move.
Yeah.
Right? But you say you would do it for Lauri Markkanen.
I think I would.
The third pick in the draft.
I think I would.
And Paul George, you get rid of the contract. You get rid of your the third pick in the draft, which is like not the first two picks in the draft.
Yeah, well, look, Durant, 36 years old. He's in the final year of his deal. I wouldn't want to do that. I don't think that's what we've been asking for. But if you get Lauri Markkanen, I know he's coming off of an injury. He's only 28. He'll be 28 in a couple days. At least it helps you get younger. He's under contract through 2029, so hopefully it would work because you are going to be stuck with that contract most likely. But if you're trying to take advantage of the Joel Embiid window, because I don't see a scenario where Embiid's leaving here. I don't think anyone's going to take on that contract. We've talked about it. At least it helps you not only get out from underneath Paul George, but it gives you a player that can contribute right away with Lauri Markkanen. And maybe that team, Embiid, Markkanen, you got Maxey, you'll have McCain, you re-sign Yabusele, maybe Quentin Grimes off the bench. Maybe you can make some noise with that team. I wouldn't do it for Durant, though. You wouldn't do it for either? If it helps you get rid of the Paul George contract?
It doesn't move me one way or the other.
You'd rather Giannis. Because you'd do that for Giannis.
I in a second for Giannis, but Lauri Markkanen, I mean, nice player, but
I just think it may be more likely that Utah would do that than the Bucks doing that. I think the Bucks are going to get more than Paul George and a third overall pick.
Yeah. Anyway, at least we're talking Sixers.
Well, at least there's some excitement that maybe you'll have something different.
Yeah, all right, let's go back to the text board. A lot of texters in today. Ray?
Regarding the Phillies, I agree with Mike. I'm going to assume the Phillies looked the other way based on how fast and succinct their statement was after Alvarado was suspended. They want to take all culpability and suspicion off of the organization.
Maybe they didn't look the other way. Maybe it's not as strong as that. But you have to be, I don't know, you have to be involved. And this just smacks of a non-involvement. Like, don't worry about it, whatever. I just think when there's certain players you got to stay on top of, and maybe this is one of them. All right, let's hear David Dombrowski because he had his reaction to the suspension, and this is what it was.
It's disappointing for sure. I mean, there's no question about that. We've had other issues come up at various times. To me, I end up treating it like an injury. Is really what it is, because you need to replace somebody for 80 games and then hopefully into the postseason he's not eligible for that time period. It's not something he did knowingly. I believe that, the way he talked to me.
Not something he did knowingly. All right. See, I don't know. See, if he's going to make himself available to comment on this, then he's got to be grilled on how this could possibly happen. And I think they let him off the hook.
Yeah, when he says it's...
The notion that the Phillies are completely innocent here is something that I find hard to believe.
Well, yeah, when he says it's not something he did knowingly, well, Major League Baseball has that portal set up. They were talking about this
exactly.
morning.
You should know. That's my whole point. Maybe he didn't do it knowingly. No, I probably think he did, but you should find out. You should know about all the stuff that your players are doing.
But it would not be hard for Alvarado to find out if he should be taking it. Because once he uploads that drug to the portal, they would let him know whether or not it's an acceptable medication or whatever it was. So maybe he didn't, quote-unquote, know, but he didn't know because he didn't try to find out, which is just as bad.
He had all that goodwill with the Mother's Day message.
And that hat. And that little kid, that poor little kid that came to the game, what was his name, Prince?
Right.
Right, all these things now with Alvarado, and now it's all, man.
Did he also have on his hat, I love Ivanka? Oh, no, I'm sorry.
No, that was Eli.
I'm mixing up players here.
That was Eli.
Okay. All right, let's go to Andy in Lambertville. Andy, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. What's up, Andy? How you doing, buddy?
Hey, good morning. How are you, Mike?
Good morning, Andy.
Hey, good morning to you. Good morning to Ray, and good morning to that other guy you work with.
What's up, Andy?
Hey, what's up, Bill? I got two questions for you, Mike.
Yes, sir.
There's been some hot discussion on the YouTube chat today about question one. Do you consider Alvarado a top 10 player in terms of importance to the Phillies' World Series success or World Series championship chances?
Yes.
Yeah, I do too. I thought it was a no-brainer, but there's a couple baseball guys that are saying that the everyday players are more important, that the relievers are overrated, this, that, and the other.
Relievers are overrated, huh? He's your top relief guy. He's your top guy. He's overrated? Like, what are we talking about here?
Well, that was my side of the debate.
People who don't think he's a top priority are idiots. I mean, you got to be kidding me. He's basically you're a closer.
I know. That's what I thought too. I wanted to get your opinion on that. And
yes, he's one of the. In fact, he's one of the top, probably the top 5 players that you have to worry about.
Okay, well, if you take let's name a couple. You got Wheeler, Harper, Schwarber, Turner, and then where does Alvarado fit in?
He fits right in that cat right next. He's an important guy.
Okay. Oh yeah, that's why I'm asking your opinion.
Yes, he is.
Hey, all right, I agree with you, by the way. Maybe I don't put him at 5, but I think he's definitely in the top 10. But I got a second question. In regards to the Major League Baseball rule, now let's suppose the Phillies had found out, they did their due diligence, they found out, yes, Alvarado is taking something that he shouldn't be taking. Do you know whether or not they have a Major League obligation to report that player?
Well,
or
we're going to find out.
Hide it, but do they have to disclose it?
I don't know, but we'll ask Scott Lauber. He's coming up. What time is he coming on, Ray?
12:25.
12:25. Scott Lauber, who covers the Phillies, will know the answer.
Because I think that's kind of important, because I figured if they found out he's taking something by accident, let's say, and then they say, okay, it was an accident, knock it off, and then I don't know the shelf life on that, to get it out of your system before testing, but
I don't know what the protocol is. I don't know whether they have to self-report like it's the NCAA or whatever. We'll find out from Scott.
All right. Well, thanks for taking the time. You guys have a great day.
All right, there you go.
Yeah,
There's Andy from Lambertville.
We'll ask Scott Lauber. But my research that I was doing during the break, the Major League Baseball teams are not permitted to do their own independent drug testing of their players.
Okay.
Is my understanding.
Okay.
So they could not have tested him. They could have done some investigating, but they couldn't test him.
All right, 610-632-0975. It is the Mike Missanelli Show. How about this? If he did his own testing, just to prove, he did an independent test that came back positive, do they have to self-report that?
I'm not 100% sure, but I'm looking at team responsibilities. A team can report suspected violation to the Health Policy Advisory Committee, which can then investigate and potentially initiate testing.
All right, 610-632-0975. Back after this.
Monday, May 19th.
Get in by text or by call. 610-632-0975. With the big story today. Yeah, the Phillies won. They swept the Pirates. The Pirates are god-awful. As you know, I hate seeing bad baseball teams. I loathe it. I watch these teams and I go, oh, my God, how could you be a fan of this team?
Yeah, they're pretty bad, dude.
And Skeens had a no-hitter through 4 yesterday. I know you were thinking of me.
Everybody was tagging me saying, I wonder what Mikey Miss is rooting for right now.
Yeah, and he takes a loss in a game like that.
Insane, dude. Complete game, one earned run.
They stink. Unbelievable.
Well, it just goes to show, too, Mick Abel, I know it's only one start. You don't want to get carried away, but what a start. What a start to your career, man. The guy looked good.
Yeah, he did. He looked good. And that certainly was the story yesterday. But the big story is that Jose Alvarado got suspended 80 games.
Now, because of the weekend and the Alvarado news, there was something that we didn't get a chance to react to either. This phantom ankle injury for Aaron Nola all of a sudden, too. Because he gets now put on the 15-day IL to try to, I guess, figure out what the hell's going on with him.
Phantom? You don't think he has an ankle injury?
No, come on.
What, really?
I think it's just because he's struggling.
Really? You think they're putting him on the shelf for a little bit?
That's what I think it is. Dude, the Major League Baseball IL is the most, it may be the biggest
amazing
joke.
How you're pointing out that the Phillies are doing something sinister here.
Well, they all do it.
What is
every time?
You were protecting him for the first hour and a half of the show.
Well, I'm saying is Major League Baseball, they all do this. There's always that phantom injury.
They all do this. Just like players, they try to cheat, circumvent.
Saying they did it with Brandon Marsh, too. All of a sudden, he had that hamstring that had to send him down to a little rehab assignment.
Yeah, you didn't think that was legit.
I never buy it.
Really?
I never buy it.
But that, right? He never buys it.
I mean, I understand the thought process there, but there's also something to be said about a guy who's struggling. Something could be wrong physically in a sport where you play every day.
Maybe, but it's interesting that he has been struggling and we haven't heard anything.
Bill is being cynical about the Phillies' honesty.
You could be cynical. Like, the cynicalness, I understand. Like, when he was pitching the other day, I was like, wow, this looks like a guy who needs a break. I wish they could find a way to get him a break. And then all of a sudden his ankle's bad and he gets the time off. I understand what you're saying from that vantage point, but what benefit does Aaron Nola have to come out to us and say, hey, man, my ankle's bothering me? Because we're going to sit here and say, wow, look at this guy making excuses for another bad start at the start of his season. If his ankle's so bad, why is he go on the injured list? Like, there's really no win to them telling us that his ankle's bothering him until he continues to struggle. And then they're like, well, it's bothering him enough where he stinks. Might as well give him a chance to sit down and see what happens. Like, I understand your cynical nature, but to take the other side of that for a second.
Bill's cynical nature. So all he did was make fun of me for my cynical nature first hour and a half.
Well, no, you had a little bit different of a cynical nature. You're saying that
I don't trust anybody. I don't even trust you. People are asking me, do I trust you? That I should be hovering over you to prevent you from using steroids.
Too late.
Yeah. I wish.
Too late.
I always take that as a compliment. Like, if I actually look like I'm on steroids, I'll take that as a compliment.
Yeah.
I wish I looked like I was on steroids.
And to be clear, I'm not on Ozempic, all right, people? Please stop.
Well, no, Andy Dalton is on Ozempic, and he turned into Ray, though.
Yeah, please. All right? This is natural.
By the way, Ray's girlfriend was in attendance at Citizens Bank Park on Sunday.
Who's that?
Livy Dunn.
Oh, was she, Ray?
She was there, yeah. Dunn family had a whole get-together yesterday afternoon. No show.
Livy was watching her man yesterday?
Yes, she was.
They didn't have a shot on her. Did they have a shot
I believe they showed her at Citizens Bank. I don't know if they showed her on the TV broadcast.
Really?
I don't think I remember
They
seeing
had Mick Abel's parents like 100 times.
Yeah, he had
no Livy Dunn?
No Livy Dunn. It was Mick Abel's day.
Oh.
Pretty unbelievable, though. And then, see, now with this Alvarado news, Mick Abel, he already was a trade chip, potentially, but now I think you may have to.
Yeah, it's probably going to have to caution Mick Abel.
At the least.
Yep.
I mean, you're probably going to have to do some other things, too.
All right. Let's get Tommy in Alabama in here. Tommy, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. What's up, Tom?
Yo, Mike, how you doing?
Good, man. How you doing?
Fine. Yo, Bill, you looking good, big man. You look like you're living in the gym. How you doing?
I appreciate it, Tom. All good.
Using steroids.
Good deal.
PEDs.
Hey, real quick. Nah, man. Bill's a straight shooter. He don't do
He's not all natural. We did an investigation.
However,
The guys at the golf club investigate. They told me.
if I was using PEDs, it would be on the Fanatic and Beasley Media for not following me around to make sure that I'm on it, according
That's
to
right.
Mike.
It would have been.
Bill's a perfectionist, man. And, the thing about it with Harper yesterday in the first inning, and before I say this, I realized it was Schemes. And Schemes is bad, man. I like that cat.
Really? Yeah, I like him too.
The league has figured Harper out. Everybody just pitch him upstairs. He can't catch up. Don't give him up and down and in. And he's been swinging and swinging and swinging since the beginning of the year. And that's the problem, man.
Yeah, he'll adjust to that, though. I don't have any problem with him. He'll adjust.
I hope so. But, with Alvarado, if you take a look at the fact that if he knew or didn't know, it says it on the bottle. And then, if he did, he's so damn he's either so damn arrogant or he's so damn stunad, man. Either way, then he don't even call the hotline to find out. I mean, then he skips town. Man, I don't like it. I don't think you'll ever see Jose Alvarado in a Phillies uniform again.
He did skip town, didn't he? He got out of
Yes,
town.
he did.
Got out of Dodge. Yeah, interesting.
They
probably told him to get out of Dodge, so he wouldn't say anything.
I don't know, man, but it looks bad to me because I would have faced the music is what I would have done. And, the problem, if you go back to 1991, Mike, do you remember the Braves, worst to first? They would have won the World Series that year if Otis Nixon wouldn't have got suspended in the second half of the season.
Otis Nixon. Wow.
I remember him.
Name, man. That's a cool name.
Otis Nixon was the leader of that team.
Yeah, he was.
And that, they went.
Did Fractal have that problem too later? Fractal, didn't he have a PED problem?
I don't remember, honestly.
He might have. All right.
But
you got it, Tom.
Yeah. Nixon was their center fielder, wasn't he, in Atlanta?
Yeah.
I always remember, for some reason, Harry Callis on a home run call of Darren Dalton. And he's like, Nixon going away back. This ball's out of here. 3-run home run, Darren Dalton. Just like one of those things from when you were a kid that just always remained in my head.
Really? Nixon going back for it?
Nixon going away back. Yep.
Yeah, going away back.
Man, Callis was the man. By the way, you know where the term get out of Dodge comes from?
It comes from Wyatt Earp.
Good one, Mike.
Yeah. Come on, man.
Dodge City, Kansas, back in the 1870s. Wyatt Earp was the peace officer.
Yeah.
It was a bad town, apparently.
610, that's why he tried to clean it up. 610-632-0975, back after this.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Alvarado suspended 80 games. I'm Ray Dunn with this Fanatic Sports Update. The Phillies announced yesterday that Jose Alvarado was suspended 80 games due to testing positive for a drug that every time I say it, or tested positive for something, every time I say it, we get a text saying I'm saying it wrong. So I'm sorry, guys. Whatever he tested positive for, it's 80 games. The suspension makes him ineligible for the postseason as well. The left-hander had 7 saves and a 2.70 ERA in 20 appearances so far this season. Dave Dombrowski was asked prior to Sunday's game how losing will impact this team at the trade deadline.
I can't even answer that yet. That's still a while away. We already start looking at our club and keep looking at it, and we'll evaluate how. We have some guys that have thrown the ball well for us out of our pen. We like the guys out there. We'll just have to see how it all fits together.
As for the weekend of games, the Phillies did complete a 3-game sweep of the Pirates with a 1-0 win behind an impressive Major League debut for Mick Abel. Abel threw 6 innings, struck out 9 in the win. The Phillies now go out to Colorado for 4 games starting tonight at 8:40. We'll be joined by Scott Lauber of the Philadelphia Inquirer coming up at 12:25 to talk about the current state of the Phillies and what the fallout from the Jose Alvarado suspension will be. The NFL owners have meetings scheduled this week in Minneapolis, Tuesday and Wednesday, and we are expecting to hear what the fate of the tush push will be as they vote on the proposed ban from the Packers. Union won 1-0 over the weekend, tied by a penalty kick for the only goal of the game. They're now tied for the top of the Eastern Conference. This update brought to you by Batteries Plus. Remember when you had a guy, someone who could fix anything? They still exist at Batteries Plus. Their expert knowledge on batteries will have you on your way and good to go in no time. Batteries Plus, the experts in charge. I'm Ray Dunn for 97.5 The Fanatic.
Mike Missanelli Show, 97.5 The Fanatic. So I'm reading this story about migraine headaches. Did you read the story about how you can cure it at McDonald's?
No.
Migraine headache, people swear by the cure of McDonald's fries and a large Coke.
Well, maybe the caffeine in the
salt
soda?
and the sugar and the caffeine apparently cures your migraine.
Right, there's caffeine in Coke, right?
Yeah.
I can see that. I mean, that's like what's in Excedrin, right? Isn't Excedrin mostly caffeine?
Caffeine and Tylenol, whatever that is.
Interesting.
Fries.
The fries cure it.
Yeah. Fries and a large Coke. You gonna try it?
I told you.
I never go to McDonald's.
I haven't been there in a while.
I could have a migraine that would bust my head open, but I'll never go to McDonald's.
You're making me want to try McDonald's, though. I haven't been there in so long. Ray, what about when you were traveling? Like you're on the road, you're calling the game for the Union, you need food quickly. Did you go to any fast food joints?
No, there's a coffee shop around the corner. Got coffee there. I felt bad for them. They gave me like the little, hey, you come back, you get 25% off. I was like, there's no shot. Like, I'm never going to be back here. But I'll take it anyways.
You never know in your travels, man. You know, when you get to be a big star, you'll be traveling.
And that'll be my coffee shop in Atlanta?
What, Atlanta?
Yeah.
You'll be in Atlanta many times as the play-by-play guy, no matter what you're doing.
It's the first time I'd ever been to Atlanta.
Really?
You never flew through Atlanta?
I connected through it, but if I don't leave
connect.
the airport of a place, I don't count that I've been there.
That's true.
Yeah, it's a cool city.
Wish I would know.
Now, you're getting on me about no McDonald's. I'll tell you, the fast food place I love, I was there again yesterday. Chipotle. Chipotle right now has this new Chipotle honey chicken. It's like a spicy honey chicken. You get that on a bowl with rice, black beans.
Of course you didn't get the tortilla.
No.
Who didn't figure? Who
I get the bowl.
Who didn't know that? The tortillas, bad carbs.
Yeah, probably too many.
Bad carbs.
Oh, come on.
But I get the rice, the beans, the guac, cheese, lettuce.
You're so easy to figure out.
Oh, so
man.
good, dude.
You know what I did the other day? I got a $7 cravings box from Taco Bell.
Did you really?
Right around the corner.
Wow, I haven't been to Taco Bell in a while.
$7 cravings box.
I loved Taco Bell when I was a kid.
Can't beat it.
I had great breakfast tacos in Atlanta.
Did you?
Yeah, very good. Little place, little corner spot that we found for lunch. Wonderful.
Yeah.
Very good.
First Watch has good breakfast tacos.
They do.
Yes, very good. They put like chicken sausage and egg on it.
Let me tell you what happens in the $7 cravings box. Chicken chalupa supreme.
Oh my God.
Beefy 5-layer burrito. Crunchy taco and chips with nacho cheese sauce and a medium fountain drink for $7, Bill. Come on.
Wow.
Come on, Bill.
Did they give you a roll of toilet paper for that night?
Come on, you can't beat that for $7.
It
man.
does sound good.
You fill up on that. That's
I
like
also
a
love-
million calories.
And Taco Bell's always open late too. You can get it late night.
Can't beat the bell. Ding.
You cannot.
Right.
But I do prefer a little Chipotle. You're not a Chipotle guy?
Yeah, I go occasionally, but I always get the burrito. I don't mess with it. Come on with
the bowl.
Come on with the bowl.
Oh, I love the bowl.
I've become a big fan of the bowl.
Yeah, I know, but occasionally you got to have a tortilla to round out the whole thing. You know, you're just getting salad otherwise.
Did you ever see
Get more rice that way.
when they wrap it with that tortilla? Like it always feels like it's not going to fit, and they somehow
stuff
get
it right in there. They the first fold is the key.
Yes.
They wrap it around, and then they dig it in, and then they fold it.
I feel like if I worked there, I'd have a panic attack every time I was about to roll somebody's burrito.
You think you'd mess it up?
Yeah.
I did wraps when I worked at a pizza shop, and I had a panic attack every time.
Yeah,
Eventually, it became the other guy I worked with up front. I was like, "You wrap everything. I'll put all the stuff there. You wrap it."
That's that training. That initial roll. It's like you gather it all in, and you stuff it, and you get it tight, and then you
Yeah, because I always go double chicken. You got to get that extra protein in there.
Of course. Yeah. What do you cut out? What's the one thing that most people would eat that you cut out in favor again of double chicken?
I just don't get the queso sauce. I feel like that's just a little.
You get
too
the
much.
rice.
I do it.
Got to be brown rice.
No, I actually go white rice. I like the flavor.
What? You look at Bill swinging.
Yeah. I like
my God, Bill gets white rice.
I used to do no carbs. When I first met my wife, I did no carbs. But she convinced me that carbs aren't bad. So I do some carbs.
Thanks, Bridget.
It's all
That's
about
an upset,
macros.
man. Not you not going with the brown rice. I would have never figured out in a million years.
I like the flavor of the white
It is 12 noon, by the way, and you're listening to Mike Missanelli Show on WPEN HD1. Of course, it's 97.5 The Fanatic. It's a Beasley Media Group station broadcasting from the Comcast Business Studios, powering possibilities. It is noon. Happy lunchtime to everybody. Somebody told me the other day they stay in the car especially to listen to the news at noon. They especially stay in the car, even if they have an appointment. Listen to Ray Dunn and the news at noon.
Friday's news at noon was the best we've ever had, I think.
Well, let's see if we can do it today. It is the news at noon.
There's a whole lot going on in this world. It's time to catch up. Here's the news at noon. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Ray Dunn with the news at noon. Ray, what do we have today?
I'm going to pretend you didn't say that, Bill. I know that you project your emotions in a certain way, and you were just upset not to have me here, and that's why you said that about Friday.
It's true. Mike didn't get the joke.
No, I got it. Ray wasn't here, and we had who did we have?
We had Sean for 3 hours,
Sean
and then
Rodman,
Silvana
and
for an hour.
Silvana came in.
I did miss you, Ray.
Sean Rodman did the news at noon and did a bang-up job, Ray, so you better be good today.
All right, let's start with Game 7. Thunder beating the Nuggets, and something went viral afterwards. It was what used to be the old man, the three, now the young man, the three. JJ Redick's old podcast was putting out an old clip from Alex Caruso that I absolutely loved. Just what he said about how he's made his career and why so many guys get stuck in the G League. Take a listen, and I want this on my basketball team.
Big reason guys get stuck in the G League is that they don't understand the position they're trying out for, right? It's like going to a job interview and you're thinking you're going to be the CFO of the company, and they're looking for a guy to clean the bathrooms.
Absolutely love that quote from Alex Caruso.
So he's saying that you ought to work on a role.
Yes.
Okay.
Everyone wants to be the CFO when they're interviewing you to be the guy who cleans the bathrooms. I wanted him last offseason as the tall guard that actually is defensive oriented that could be on this team. It didn't come to fruition. I'm even more mad about it now watching him succeed with the Thunder.
Yeah, see, I don't get the Alex Caruso thing. Everybody raves about him, and I go...
And I knew you wouldn't get the Alex Caruso thing, which is why I wanted to get that out of you.
A dime a dozen. Like, what's so special about Alex Caruso? All right, he's a white dude with a headband and runs around a little bit. Looks like he plays defense. What's so special about that?
You're telling me he doesn't play defense?
He plays all right defense. It's like, it's like he's not the lockdown guy for the league.
No, he's not the lockdown guy for the league.
He's a decent defender. It's like people go crazy over him. I don't get it.
You put him in a backcourt next to Maxey where you need a taller guard that can actually defend someone.
He can't shoot it, occasionally.
But that's what you have in the other guard.
This guy's got more hype than he deserves.
Well, I look forward to watching him in the Western Conference Finals.
I think I was on the air the day that he got traded for Josh Giddey, and you were not happy.
I was not. No, you're right. I was not.
He likes Alex Caruso.
Loves him.
A weird guy to like, isn't it?
Some guys got to clean the bathroom. I'm not rooting for just CFOs
You like the bathroom cleaners?
No, but you need bathroom cleaners to make the building run.
I wonder why you like T.J. McConnell.
Another bathroom cleaner. The building falls apart without him.
Ray's a T.J. McConnell.
You're just a CFO guy. That's what it is.
I am. I'm a elitist. All right, let's move on.
All right, moving on here. Someone that's getting paid like an elitist right now. Brock Purdy, the big contract. Friday afternoon news dump for your franchise quarterback's contract is kind of crazy for the 49ers. Dominique Foxworth, though, doesn't want to hear from people that they're overpaying the guy, that he's not getting more than he deserves. Listen to Foxworth try and defend this Purdy contract.
Anyone who is suggesting that it is a mistake to pay Brock Purdy need to shut they dumb mouths, because I don't care. I don't want to get into your cap management or how this is going to inhibit the team going forward. Let's be completely clear. This organization wrapped up everything they had of value and traded it for a quarterback that was not good. Brock Purdy saved everybody's damn jobs, all of them. So anyone who is up here talking about, John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan, they put us in a tough situation, paying too much for a good quarterback. He's not great to put it. No, I don't give a hoot. And we can argue about how good he is. But we also recognize that this is how quarterback market works. And if this is how the quarterback market works, the idea that we're going to stop and change the quarterback market now on a guy who has been playing not only under market value, I feel like he has a lawsuit for the amount of production that he's produced under Mr. Irrelevant's contract.
Yeah, okay.
I kind of agree with him, Ray. I agree with him 100% on this.
Really?
He completely saved John Lynch's job. They traded away to get Trey Lance, not only their first-round pick that year, their first-round pick the following 2 years, and a third-round pick to move up and get a guy, and Foxworth's right, who couldn't play. Trey Lance can't play.
Okay, but that doesn't mean that Purdy's that great.
No, but then you were saved by taking Brock Purdy with the last pick in the draft and paying him on a rookie contract for as long as you were, making peanuts, and he gets you to an NFC Championship game.
Throwing me off, man. Ray likes Alex Caruso. You like Brock Purdy. What the hell's going on here?
I think Purdy is better than what most people give him credit for.
I also thought one of you guys were going to defend the Purdy contract, which is why I put this in there.
Yes.
This was a news at noon just to sniff out how everybody's feeling right now.
I think that with the value,
probably not worth it. But what are they going to do? They're kind of tied in a knot. They can't let him go.
Correct. And with what we know about the quarterback position in the NFL, and it being the most important position in all of sports, there's a lot worse contracts out there. Like, I'd rather have Brock Purdy than Trevor Lawrence. Convince me otherwise. I'd rather have Brock Purdy than Tua Tagovailoa. Those guys make more money than Purdy does.
I thought Foxworthy went a little overboard, but all right, I get it.
All right, final one for you here.
Foxworthy, did I call him? Jeff Foxworthy. It's Dominic Foxworth.
Yeah, Foxworthy was...
he's the comedian.
The
country comedian.
The country comedian.
Yeah. Hysterical.
Who also did Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader, didn't he?
Yeah, hysterical. Sarcasm.
We'll get you the tickets for the show. Don't
You're
worry.
jealous of how he
I
dresses.
love all those country comedians. They just break me apart.
I know, we're getting next year for his birthday.
That's number 3.
All right, last one for you. Mike, I just want to give you a big win for journalism. It's the comeback we all wanted for journalism.
Okay, good.
They make their way into the far turn. Clever again, and Gosker, and these two are right together on the lead, with River Thames running in third. Goal-oriented is fourth. American Promise fifth on the outside. Journalism is still sixth. He's got a lot of ground to cover. He is still 5 lengths behind as they make their way toward the top of the stretch. Gosker, trying to pull off a huge upset here, has taken the lead on the outside. Clever again cuts the corner. Journalism is getting closer now. He's behind a wall of horses. He's looking for a place to go, and he's got nowhere to go. Oh, he bumped hard with goal-oriented. In the meanwhile, Gosker's running the race of his life, and Sandman has entered the scene, and he has moved up on the far outside. Journalism is still running on. He's back into second. He might even win it. Here's the wire. Oh, my goodness. Journalism has won the Preakness Stakes in a performance like you read about.
You can't put down journalism. Journalism survives, Bill.
Now, let me ask you, because I'm not a horse racing guy. I was reading a lot of stuff online that journalists cheated.
What?
With a little bump.
What, plagiarism? Was there plagiarism
You
in there?
can't trust journalism.
that he...
Not in today's day and age.
I was reading online. Now, I don't know, because I'm not a horse race guy. But that the bump that he did was illegal. Because he bumped some to get...
They
and
had
then
the
get going.
stewards review the race, didn't they?
I don't know.
What was illegal? They stewards reviewed the race. Nothing illegal happened. Journalism prevailed. And journalism, when he went by Gosker at the end, said, "You're a pig, Gosker. I'm the pedigree." That's what he said.
I don't know.
The horse said it.
Despite the bumping, journalism was not disqualified. It's
plagiarism.
Suspect.
Good
Plagiarism
journalism
for journalism.
deserves a bump.
Good journalism, which didn't happen in this Phillies thing. We'll talk about it. Mike Missanelli Show continues.
Andrew Salciunas.
Major golf tournament this week. It seemed like it was on the heels too much of the Masters. We just had the Masters. I didn't PGA supposed to be like a little more spread out.
Yeah, it was kind of close in time, but I watched yesterday, just watched Rahm fall apart down the stretch. But Scheffler, man,
that guy is he's a machine, man. He really is. This is as good as what Tiger Woods used to do.
I'm not there yet, but it's getting there. It's getting there.
I mean, he's a machine.
He really is. He looked good yesterday too. That Quail Hollow looked like a beautiful course.
Yeah, Bill, that's near. Where is that near?
It's not near Hilton Head.
Bill goes, well.
Not near.
It's pretty close to Hilton Head, isn't it? No, it's a different state, first of all.
Geography category in General Knowledge Wednesday this week.
Tell us more, Mr. Geography.
I'm actually pretty good with geography. Put it on Wednesday's General Knowledge. I'm usually pretty good with it.
You are, huh?
But
Charlotte is North Carolina inland.
Yeah, I was a little off on that.
Okay.
How intimidating was that par 3 17?
Yeah, where you have to hit it to the right and not left?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I guess I would just play the slice.
You would play a slice? You go over the water?
I would just play the slice.
You would?
Land it right in. But they're doing 212 yards, and they're hitting 7 irons.
Yeah.
It's wild, man.
It is pretty amazing the way those guys hit irons. Like, they'll hit a wedge 180. Yeah.
It's unbelievable how far they hit. It really is. But Rory, a little disappointing, man.
Rory snubbing the media. Yeah, he better watch out. He's going to lose his goodwill with people. He's been snubbing the media lately.
He has
this.
Yeah,
being a little snarky.
And I forget who it was who interviewed Bryson DeChambeau. I think had a little dig in there towards Rory because she's like, "We really appreciate you making the time because we know you don't have to."
Oh, he said, "Oh, really? That's what they said."
Yeah,
these golf announcers are so hard hitting.
To Bryson,
they really like to nab you, don't they? The golf journalists.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they're
TV
hard hitting
journalists. Hard hitting, man. They flub a shot. Oh, he wish he had that back again. That's kind of analysis you got. All right, back to the text board, Ray. People are killing me personally in my own personal text.
Oh, are you?
Oh, yeah.
Because all your lackeys are calling in to support you.
Oh, they are?
Well, every call we've gotten so far.
This one guy, guys, it was an astute take, one that was not obvious and no one's ever thought of over the last 30 years. You should get paid to talk sports for a living. And then somebody says, this is such a lazy, ignorant argument. It's not even entertaining. Congrats on the engagement, I guess.
Wow.
Yeah. Now, breaking sports news from 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
I'll hit the music in a moment here.
Yeah.
We've got news from the Eagles at Eagles on Twitter. We've agreed to a multi-year extension with head coach Nick Seriani.
There it is.
There we go.
There it is.
Go ahead, Bill. You got to play. You got to sing it now.
Oh yeah, I didn't have time to create any lyrics though, Ray.
You got the old lyrics.
I don't have them. I don't have them in my head anymore.
Oh, you don't have them in your head?
No, but congratulations to Nick Seriani.
Bill. You got to be more prepared than this.
Let me work on something. We got time.
You're like a musician that forgets the words. You need a prompter.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
I'm the smartest coach in the world.
You sung it like 150 times.
Yeah, but
so much good.
It was all it was based on the Super Bowl. I got to change the lyrics now to be about his contract extension. Do we know the details of the contract?
We have a release here from Jeffrey Lurie, but we do not have details yet for the contract. I can just read you what Lurie has to say, but I feel like we get it.
Yeah,
he's happy with the guy.
Multi-year extension. Wow. How about this? From Jeffrey Lurie, nothing is more important to fostering such an environment than having tremendous leadership.
Hell yeah.
Nick has embodied everything we were looking for in a head coach since we hired him 4 years ago. His authentic style of leadership, football intelligence, passion for the game, and growth mindset have helped to bring out the best in our team. Oh, Seriani love of Mike.
We all fertilize.
You got what you wanted.
I wonder what they gave him.
You got your goodwill now for the next several years, if you're on the radio by then.
I didn't get any goodwill, man. I was just calling it objectively. The guy deserved another shot this past season, and no one knew how it was going to work out. He deserved another shot. And look, I thought, as frustrated as I was with Rob Thompson, he deserved to come back this year too and see what he can do. And we'll see how it all plays out. So far, so good for the Phils, 28-18. We rush sometimes to get people fired, and I think we need to give people some time.
Tonight, the Phillies are at the Rockies. It's such boring TV to watch these bad teams, isn't it?
I don't mind when the Phils win.
No, I hate it. No, I mean, I listen, they're dominant over these bad teams, but these bad teams, I'm going, well, listen, their fan base. Like, how could you be as bad as the Rockies and the Pirates? You almost have to work extra to be as bad. Because baseball is a game where you can actually, be competitive.
Yeah, like, when will Skeens be eligible for free agency?
6 years. They got him for 6 years.
Like, what a waste.
If I'm Skeens, I go, what? My God, get me out of here.
Yeah,
but
what a waste.
They don't have any incentive to get him out of there. He's there at a cheap price for 6 years.
That's frustrating because you're right. It's tough to watch. And I'd rather see the Phillies play good teams, but we got to wait a little while.
God, they're terrible players that they throw out there every day as starters in the majors.
Wait, what, they got Colorado and then what, Oakland? Or not Oakland anymore. They got the A's coming up next?
Sacred Tomato.
Did they send Abel down yet? I know that was the plan.
I believe that's happening. Yeah, I would imagine that, yes, that has happened.
So he's not going to pitch again?
No.
No.
Triple A. He's going back down. 610-632-0975. Back after this.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Alvarado suspended 80 games. I'm Ray Dunn with this Fanatic Sports Update. The Phillies announced yesterday that Jose Alvarado suspended 80 games due to testing positive for a banned substance. The suspension makes him ineligible to participate in the postseason. The left-hander had 7 saves and a 2.70 ERA in 20 appearances so far this season. Dave Dombrowski was asked prior to Sunday's game how losing him will impact this team's trade deadline plans.
I can't even answer that yet. That's still a while away. We already start looking at our club and keep looking at it, and we'll evaluate how. We have some guys that have thrown the ball well for us out of our pen. We like the guys out there. We'll just have to see how it all fits together.
As for the weekend of games, the Phillies completed a 3-game sweep of the Pirates with a 1-0 win behind an impressive Major League debut for Mick Abel yesterday. Abel threw 6 innings, struck out 9 in the win. Phils now go to Colorado for 4 games starting tonight at 8:40. We'll be joined in the next segment by Scott Lauber of the Philadelphia Inquirer at 12:25. The NFL owners have meetings this week in Minneapolis. It's expected that they will vote on the tush push. We just got news in the world of the NFL that Nick Seriani has agreed to a multi-year extension with the Philadelphia Eagles. We'll give you more details when they become available. The Union won 1-0 over the weekend and tied for first in the Eastern Conference. This update is brought to you by Erie Insurance, celebrating 100 years of protecting your family's most priceless moments. Then, now, always Erie Insurance, ErieInsurance.com. That's ErieInsurance.com. I'm Ray Dunn, your home for NBA playoff action, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5 TheFanatic.com.
Missanelli Show, 97.5 The Fanatic. Well, you heard my stance on Jose Alvarado and that whole situation. Yes, the player's responsible. But also I believe there's a little bit of negligence on the Phillies management for this happening. How could this have happened? For shine some light on it, it's the man who covers the Phillies for the Philadelphia Inquirer, Scott Lauber, joining us. Hello, Scott.
Hey, Mike. How are you?
Good. So let's get right into it. Yeah. You know, the Phillies are kind of like disassociated themselves from this whole thing, and I can see why they would do that. It's the player's responsibility a whole bit. They're disappointed. But how could this have happened?
Well, I mean, I understand what you're saying, and I think there's validity to it, right? Like, they do monitor these guys during the off season, and they're all, generally speaking, on some sort of conditioning plan or something of that nature. Now, if a player decides to take weight loss medication and doesn't tell the team, I'm not sure how the team is supposed to know that. So, we can parse the blame. We can discuss, should they have known? But and the other thing about all this is that, look, we didn't hear from Jose Alvarado yesterday. He skipped town, and he left. He left before he told a lot of his teammates. A lot of them found out in an 11:30 meeting that Rob Thompson called to tell them what was going on. So, not a ton of accountability on Alvarado's part here all around. So I would like to hear from Alvarado to hear about, like, did you inform the team? Did you not inform the team? Were you on your own on this? Plenty of responsibility to go around. But again, I'm not sure how, if a guy decides to take weight loss medication and doesn't tell the team is supposed to know that.
The only thing is, this guy's had a really difficult time losing weight throughout his career. He's been up, he's been down. So it's like there's almost like a mandate to stay on top of him. He's one of your 5, 6, 7 most important players on the team. He's had that weight problem. I mean, I don't know why there wasn't more diligence in checking on him in the offseason other than taking his word. I mean, there's a lot of things you can do to figure out whether a guy's taking a weight loss drug, in my opinion, especially with the resources they have these days. So the bottom line is this really cripples them. And they may have to give up a prospect to add a bullpen piece.
Yeah, it sure does. I'll tell you a quick story, not to get on a tangent, but years ago I'm covering the Red Sox, and David Ortiz came into spring training one year, and he was a little bit thinner, looked like he was a little bit in better shape or different shape, right? And I remember talking to him, and I asked him, like, how he lost the weight, and it wasn't a ton of weight. It was like 15 pounds, but it was noticeable. And he said he went to his doctor in the off season. His doctor diagnosed him with high cholesterol, which was not a surprise. It runs in his family. He said his father has it, all of that. The doctor wanted to put him on a cholesterol statin. And David Ortiz said, no, I'd rather not do that because I don't know necessarily what will cause a positive test, or I don't know what I'm supposed to do and not do. So I'm going to go on a diet. I'm going to work out. I'm going to do whatever you want me to do. And then when I retire, if my cholesterol's high and you want to put me on medication, go right ahead. And I remember thinking when he was telling me this, okay, he's either like squeaky clean, which, like there's always been whispers about David Ortiz and other players, right? Or he knows he's so far ahead of the game that he knows exactly what he's putting in his body. Now, I don't think the Red Sox knew that, his doctor diagnosed him with this and said, go on a statin medication. So, I mean, guys do go to the doctor on their own in the off season, and they do get advice. So, yeah, should they have known? Probably. Maybe he just didn't inform them, and then there's no way to know what he's going on. But to answer your question, yeah, I mean, now this is a huge loss. He was the most reliable reliever they had. I kind of felt like they were a reliever short all along. Now they're 2 relievers short, and it's not going to be easy because it's middle May, and not a whole lot of trades get made in May. There are 25 teams, I think, that are within 5 games of a playoff spot in the league. So not a lot of teams are super out of it right now. And also teams know the Phillies need relief pitching. So they're going to try to milk them for all they've got, right? And I think the Phillies are going to have to exhaust some internal options. They're going to have to explore what they have in their own organization, and then they're going to decide just how desperate they're going to have to be when they go out there and make a trade.
Talking to Scott Lauber, covers the Phillies for the Inquirer. All right, Scott, let's just take it hypothetically. All right, I know that you can't take your own drug test. The Phillies couldn't drug test him. Suppose they could have convinced his agent for him to take an independent test to see, like, knowing that he lost weight. Independent test. They find out it's positive. Would they have had a duty to self-report that?
I don't know the answer to that. From what Dave Dombrowski said yesterday, he tested positive once, and then he subsequently tested negative like twice or something like that. It doesn't matter. I mean, there's a zero tolerance on this. If you test positive, you're going to get suspended. Now, you have the ability to appeal that suspension. He chose not to do that. He chose to accept the suspension now, serve the 80 games. So read into that what you want to, right? I mean, if the guy is innocent or, just like unknowingly did something or whatever, he's probably going to appeal that. He's probably going to say, look, I plead innocent here. But, I don't know whether the advice from his agent or from the Phillies was, look, just accept it and move on because you're not going to win the appeal. I'm not sure of any of that. But, and also Dombrowski says he only found out about the positive test a couple of weeks ago when the team was in Tampa. I'm unclear on when the test was taken and how far ahead of. But if he took two other tests and they were negative, it couldn't have been taken,
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out the timing of that. Like, what's the timing of the positive test, and why would it, once they get the positive test, why would they test them again?
Well, I mean, guys are tested routinely. Okay. So, I mean, you go in there after a game and and it's random. So maybe it was just, his turn or that, that thing. So, I'm not, my sense, or from everything I've always been told, is that, you don't necessarily, stop the cycle of testing just because there was a positive test. You might get tested again. It's not like they're testing you again to find out if the test was reliable. I think, you test positive and there's going to be a suspension levied, and then it's up to you to decide whether to appeal.
Yeah. All right. So in this particular situation, I know that to me, I like have this fantasy world where a guy can fly to Venezuela and really check on and investigate and find out exactly what he's doing to lose weight. But he comes back and he's got an uptick in velocity a little bit. Now he's an older player. That usually doesn't happen. So, how are they supposed to react to that?
Yeah, I mean, look, he went to spring training and he had a great spring, and it's not, it's not like Alvarado's, 40 years old and all of a sudden there was this uptick. Mm-hmm. So there was definitely a downward trend last year in his stuff. He had some personal issues. Remember, he went away for family reasons for a couple of weeks. There was a suspicion that maybe there were things going on in his private life that contributed to the downturn in performance. That was certainly possible. But yeah, I mean, look, I think that's why you've always got to kind of look at things and, with a skeptical eye and say, why is this guy whose velocity was down last year suddenly back up a tick? And, look, there are incentives for Alvarado to have a really good season this year. He's got a club option next year that he wants them to pick up. He doesn't want to have to go back out on the market. So it was in his interest as much as theirs for him to have a good year. Should it have raised some flags in spring training? Maybe. But, again, I think the team believes that he is at an age where and the downturn wasn't so sharp where it was unusual. I mean, we see relievers' performance fluctuate year to year, and it's just the nature of the position. So I am 100% on board in terms of saying, look, we always have to look at this stuff with a discerning eye and say, what's going on? Is there something beneath the surface? But I think they thought that there were enough pitching reasons why his stuff would tick back up again. And it's not like it had never been at that level before. He throws 100 miles an hour. So they weren't seeing something they'd never seen before. And I think they just thought, well, he's back to being the guy he was a couple of years ago. And there were reasons, baseball reasons, to think that was possible.
All right, let's move on now because you mentioned club option. I'll get to that in a second. But I think baseball observers would look at this bullpen and say it's not adequate enough. Certainly not now. Your best guy is gone. And no matter what they're going to try to, piecemeal it, however they're doing, they're going to see what happens from this point on. They need somebody else. So what is the trade? Could this cost them a prospect like McAble yesterday? I mean, now all of a sudden rises to the top. If you've got to get a relief pitcher, he would maybe be one guy they asked for. Does it put them in that kind of a situation right now?
Well, yeah. I mean, look, last year they went out and they traded for Carlos Estevez at the trade deadline, and the price then was, two kind of like B-level prospects. George Clausen and Sam Aldegheri were having good years. Maybe they traded high, but they were both well-regarded pitchers before that. So it's not like, they didn't trade from the Andrew Painter, Aiden Miller, Justin Crawford bucket of their elite prospects, but they traded two guys who are going to, have already pitched, in Aldegheri's case. Look, I mean, these guys are guys who can pitch in the big leagues or will again pitch in the big leagues. So they, that was the cost then for a rental reliever in Estevez, who was theirs for 2 months and then was a free agent. So I think that's probably a safe expectation for what the price is going to be for a rental reliever. Now, if you're talking about a guy you control beyond this year, price is going to go up. And as I said, teams are out there now knowing Phillies already needed a reliever. Now they need a couple of relievers, and, they're certainly going to hike the price. This is not a good time if you're the Phillies to be out there looking for a reliever, because everybody knows you're looking for a couple. So, it could cost them. And that's why I think that, there's no deal to be made out there right now. There may be no deal to be made out there, period, in the middle of May, but there's no bargain kind of deal. There's no deal you're going to make where you're like, boy, we're getting this guy on the cheap. So, I think what they're going to probably do is they're probably going to do sort of a self-inventory. Like, is Seth Johnson, who recently moved to the bullpen in AAA, is he a potential solution? Can he help out there? Then once you exhaust those, then you start to think about starting pitchers. They do have, if there is such a thing as depth in starting pitching, they have depth in starting pitching. So do you look at Mick Abel and say, boy, 98, 99 mile an hour fastball, really good slider, curveball, can we shorten him up? Maybe the stuff plays even more, and not for the long term, but for the short term, can he help us out of the bullpen? Maybe you even look at, and I mentioned this in something I wrote today, maybe you even look at Ranger Suarez, right, who's pitched in the bullpen before. He's not going to want to do this because he's a free agent at the end of the year, and, you may be hurting his earning power if he moves to the bullpen, but he's done it before and done it well. Is he a potential solution in the bullpen? So I think once you exhaust all of those internal options, then you get closer to July and you say what's out there on the market. And it may be that, they have one internal solution and one external solution to help solve this problem. As I said, I kind of thought going into the season that they were a reliever short, and now they need more help than that. So I think that's how it's going to be. They're going to look at their internal options, survey those, and then figure out, all right, do we need to go out and trade for one, or do we need to go out and trade for two?
All right, last question. Is this the end of Jose Alvarado as a Philly?
I don't know. I mean, we'll see. It could be. We'll see. I think a lot of questions have got to be answered, right? I mean, the team's not going to, they're going to say we're disappointed and this and that, but I don't know that a day later you're going to get a real straight answer in terms of how they feel about what went down here. Maybe they're really upset about it and they want to move on. I mean, he does have great stuff. He is not old. He is someone who, for $9 million next year could have value. At the same time, you wonder, what do his teammates think? Because, like I said, a lot of them didn't even know going into the day yesterday, and he wasn't the one who told them either how welcome back is going to be in the room. So I'm speculating. I have no idea. They might welcome him back with open arms. He's a pretty popular guy in that room, and a lot of guys like him a lot. So we'll see. But I think that the first thing is they've got to figure out how to replace him, and then they'll figure out whether he's in their plans beyond 2025.
I got you, Scott. Always a pleasure. Thanks for the info.
You bet. Anytime, Mike.
There he is. Scott Lauber covers the Phillies for the Philadelphia Inquirer, veteran sports scribe. And undoubtedly, there's more of this story. The general manager has to be a little more forthcoming about this whole thing. So, more reporting to come, I'm guessing. 610-632-0975 is how you climb in. We're back after this.
Connor Thomas.
If you're an opposing.
Nick Serriani got an extension. We don't know the details yet, but we have Jeffrey Lurie's statement. Nick has embodied everything we were looking for in a head coach since we hired him 4 years ago. His authentic style of leadership, football intelligence, passion for the game, and growth mindset have helped to bring out the best in our team. I am excited for what the future holds for the Philadelphia Eagles. Bill, your thoughts?
Yeah, well, first of all, it shouldn't just be a happy day for me. This should be a happy day for all Philadelphia Eagles fans, because what you just did is you extended not only a Super Bowl winning head coach, but the first coach in the Super Bowl era to ever go to 4 straight playoff appearances, 2 Super Bowl appearances, and a Super Bowl win in his first 4 seasons as a head coach. He's only the 3rd coach ever, Mike, to have 2 Super Bowl appearances and win one in his first 4 years. He's got the 3rd highest winning percentage in the Super Bowl era, behind only John Madden and George Allen. And he's got the 2nd most wins in his first 4 seasons to only George Seifert, who had Steve Young and the San Francisco 49ers.
I don't want to.
Everyone should be happy today.
I don't want to put a pin in your balloon here, but we're going to compare him to the people with the winning percentage. There are a lot more games that they have coached.
Well, winning percentage shouldn't matter about games. I agree with you. For most wins, you get more games than a lot of other guys did. But winning percentage is percentage, so it doesn't matter how many.
Percentage is a smaller sample. Of course, you're
no. You would think it would be easier. If you play less games, your winning percentage should be higher. It's harder to have a higher winning percentage over more games.
My point is it's going to be higher because you have a lower percentage of games. He only has 68 games.
Oh, you're talking about? I thought you meant
no.
more
I'm
games
talking
in a season.
I'm talking about his percentage. Like you put him with John Madden, Vince Lombardi, and George Allen. You can't do that yet.
Listen, you love to hate on him.
No, I'm just saying.
He's won over 70% of his games.
Here's the list. Guy Chamberlain, whoever that is, he coached even more games than Nick Sirianni, 81. John Madden coached 142 games. Vince Lombardi, 163 games. George Allen is in it. You're talking about a long period of games coached.
All I'm looking at is how much this guy has won in a very short period of time.
136 for Vince Lombardi.
In 4 seasons, you've been in the playoffs all 4 years. You've been to the Super Bowl in 2 of those 4 seasons.
I get it, Bill. I get it. You love him. You got an extension. He should have got an extension. I get it.
I don't know what else
put him
people
on
need
a
to
list
see.
with Guy Chamberlain, John Madden, Vince Lombardi, and George Allen.
Okay.
Until he coaches that many games.
Well, how about the first coach ever during the Super Bowl era to go to 4 straight playoff appearances, 2 Super Bowl appearances, and win one in only 4 seasons?
All admirable. All good stuff.
Now, I do find it interesting that Jeffrey Lurie included in the statement a growth mindset, because I think what he's indicating there is he matured.
A growth mindset. What the hell's that mean, Ray? A growth mindset. Do you have a growth mindset?
Yeah.
I think I have one too.
No, but what I'm saying is I feel like this was a way for Jeffrey Lurie to kind of signal we needed him to mature a little bit with how he was on the sidelines.
So now he has a growth mindset.
We needed him to mature a little bit, and he did. But I just think, why else put that in?
Is that a little pat on the head? Like,
I don't know.
Do you need to throw that in there and you're giving that guy that many millions of dollars?
He loves those little catchy things like emotional intelligence, growth mindset. That's a Lurieism.
It is a Lurieism. What else? Yeah, you got to open up your heart.
Yes.
Remember that one?
Got to open up your heart. Football coach.
Look, all I'm saying is, the people who are still hate, because I saw it already underneath some of the comments on what they posted the Eagles is, oh, he's being carried by Howie Roseman, he's this and that. All the guy does is win. And Daryl Morey said that, and we all scoffed at it. When Sirianni, if he was to say that, it's the truth. All the guy has done since he's come here is win.
I didn't even. I didn't want to open this can. Now I got him. Now he's off. Now the desk in front of him on his lap is raising, crying out loud.
Saying he has a little bit of a growth mindset.
He has a growth mindset, exactly.
Oh. Is that a joke, right?
610-63.
That was
one of the great Ray jokes of all time, wasn't it?
That was a pretty good one.
You didn't expect that to come out of his mouth, did you?
I did not.
610-632-0975. Back after this.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Alvarado suspended 80 games. I'm Ray Dunn with this Fanatic Sports Update. The Phillies announced yesterday Jose Alvarado was suspended 80 games. He'll be ineligible for to participate in the postseason. The left-hander has 7 saves, 2.70 ERA, and 20 appearances so far this season. Dave Dombrowski was asked prior to Sunday's game how losing him will impact this team's trade deadline plans.
I can't even answer that yet. That's still a while away. We already start looking at our club and keep looking at it, and we'll evaluate how. We have some guys that have thrown the ball well for us out of our pen. We like the guys out there. We'll just have to see how it all fits together.
As for the weekend of games, the Phillies completed a 3-game sweep of the Pirates with a 1-0 win behind an impressive Major League debut for Mick Abel. Abel threw 6 innings, struck out 9 in the win. The Phillies now go to Colorado for 4 games starting out tonight at 8:40. We were joined earlier this hour by Scott Lauber of the Philadelphia Inquirer. You can listen to that conversation one more time on 97.5thefanatic.com. The big news today in Eagles land, Nick Serriani getting his multi-year contract extension. We do not have details yet on it, but the Eagles announced that on Twitter earlier this hour. The Union won over the weekend, 1-0 over Atlanta United. Tiebreak with a penalty kick goal. They're now tied at the top of the Eastern Conference. This update's brought to you by Mercedes-Benz. Mercedes-Benz Dream Days are back with offers on vehicles like 2025 E-Class, CLV Coupe, C-Class, and EQE Sedan. Hurry it now through July 31st. Learn more at MBUSA.com/dream. I'm Ray Dunn on your home for NBA playoff action, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
wanted to hear Eddie. That's just the way it sounds, too. I want to thank some people, man. I got a box. I got a present today. I got a box of coffee from the Giving Good Coffee Company in Live Oak, Florida. They're listeners of the show.
That's good, man.
Now, I don't know if they're from Philadelphia. All right, first of all, the company roasts and grinds the coffee in the USA and gives back to American veterans in need.
Oh, so with like every bag of coffee sold type thing?
Yeah. So good cause, and it looks like the founders and Vicky Solon and Scott Peterson, they must be local people because they said they love the show.
What are their names?
Vicky Soland and Scott Peterson.
Oh.
Scott Peterson is a notorious
Yeah, I
name.
hope not that guy.
Yeah, no, it's not that guy. So,
well, thanks for listening.
Yeah, thanks a lot for listening.
The only problem is we can't make it here. You have to bring that home. We don't have a coffee machine here, do we?
No, we don't. Where's Live Oak, Florida?
Probably somewhere near Quail Hollow.
Yeah.
Live Oak, Florida is between Tallahassee and Jacksonville. Okay.
All right.
There you go.
Well, thanks for listening.
Panhandle, you go straight across towards Jacksonville.
There we go.
That's where Live Oak is.
Thanks for listening.
Yeah, thank you for listening.
Something Lauber brought up, though, I want to bring up with you. He says that Alvarado didn't even talk to his teammates and left.
Got out of Dodge.
All right. Yep. Now, what that signals to me now goes back to something we've been arguing about all day. He was hiding something from this team.
He knew.
But that's where I go to you and say, I can't put this on the Phillies because with him immediately jumping on a plane and getting out of here is because he was lying to people about what he was taking.
Still doesn't absolve you of the responsibility of doing your due diligence on players that you know have a problem.
Well, Lauber asked you the same thing. Like, what were they supposed to do? Like, how do you find out? If he's not going to be truthful, how do you find out?
You find out because you have resources to find out. You can find out anything about anybody.
I know,
in this day and age, is it that difficult?
But just because he lost weight would not signal we need to send a contingent of people to Venezuela and do a full investigation. How did he lose weight? Oh, my God.
You send somebody who speaks Spanish, who's a member of the training staff, to go down there and figure it out.
But again,
it's not that difficult.
Just because he lost weight.
Yes. You keep up with certain players. You keep up. Okay, what's he got to do this time? He's got to lose weight. Well, we got to make sure we can stay on him. It's like with Sean Bradley. What does he have to do in the offseason? He has to eat more calories, make sure he doesn't eat junk food, eat the right food. They did that for him. That's what you do. You supervise it, whether he's in Venezuela or not. That's what I'm saying. You supervise it.
I get that. But if he is lying to you about what he is putting into his body.
You suspect he's lying?
But why would you suspect that he was lying?
Because he's had a weight problem. That's why you suspect it.
I get that. But you also acknowledge that the team gave him a full off-season program to lose weight and be in better shape.
It's like somebody who used to do drugs. What do you monitor that situation?
But he's never had a drug problem.
I'm talking about somebody in general.
I get that, but that would raise suspicion.
As an example, I'm not trying to tie in the drug things together. I'm saying if somebody has a problem, you stay on them.
I agree with you. But his problem was he can't lose weight, so we're going to give him a weight loss program, and he lost weight. So now we're not going to immediately assume we got to go to Venezuela and investigate how he did this.
I'm just saying, due diligence has no bounds. The 12 o'clock hour has been brought to you by Service First HVAC, offering 0% financing for 48 months, rebates and tax credits up to $4,300 when purchasing a heating and cooling system. Learn more at ServiceFirstHVAC.com. It is 1 o'clock. It is the Mike Missanelli Show, and you're listening to WPEN HD1, Burlington, Philadelphia, Beasley Media Group station, broadcasting live from the Comcast Business Studios, powering possibilities. All right, so the Phillies win. They sweep the Pirates. Another series win, Bill. You love those series wins.
You know what that is now.
3 straight. The Pirates scored -3 runs in those 3 games.
You know what their record is now in series this year, the Phils?
Oh, it's big. 11 something? 11?
Close.
That 11 series?
10-4-1.
10-4-1.
In 15 series. It's pretty damn good, man.
It is pretty good. And now they face a dilemma because their best pitcher out of the bullpen is gone. Now, I didn't ask Scott about whether when he comes back in August, what do they do with him?
Yeah, because you made it a good point. I'm thinking
you got to set your bullpen now.
Yeah,
you got to set roles.
Because I'm thinking you bring him back and just ride him into the ground until the playoffs. But you're right. If you're setting roles, what would his role be when he comes back? And then the question becomes now, you lost a left-handed arm. Do you consider moving Ranger there now? I mean, we have talked about it before. At what point where it's, hey, we're not going to be able to give up that many prospects to not only get someone to replace Alvarado, but we already needed another arm. Do you just say, our left-handed arm out of the pen is Ranger now? Now you don't have to give up a prospect. You don't have to trade Ranger. You just throw him to the bullpen and say, you're going to be our left-handed arm out of the pen.
I think you're all worried about Scott Boras.
I was. But now desperate times call for desperate measures, Scott.
Oh.
It's, hey, Mr. Boras. Dave Dombrowski's going to have to go to him. Yeah, you're going to have to go to him. You're going to put the Mr. on.
Mr.
And Mr. Boras, we weren't expecting this, although we did our due diligence and we asked Alvarado ad nauseum whether or not he was on drugs.
No, I'm not doing anything. I'm losing weight with keto.
I'm
doing keto. Don't worry about it. I'm buying all those frozen entrees in your local grocery store. I'm really buckling down. Come on, man. Come on. Jesus.
But seriously, at what point? Because look, we are acting as if this is very bad news, which it is. But if it's Mick Abel, if it's Andrew Painter, you could move Ranger to the pen, and now you would still have Romano looks good, man. And I think it's starting to look like what you saw at the beginning of the season with Romano was the outlier, not what you're seeing now. His velocity's up.
Slider's been really good.
Slider's been good.
Been off the
he struck out the side yesterday. Granted, the Pittsburgh Pirates stink. But if Romano is who we thought he was, and you still have Strom, if you put Ranger back there, I'm still a little worried about Kirkring. You're probably right on that. I mean, but now it's starting to take shape a little bit.
Let me ask you that. Who gets you need a strikeout late in the inning, a tough left-hander. Who's the guy?
It's got to be Strom now. It can't be Alvarado.
Strom who throws 92, 93.
But that's who that's the only left-hander you trust in the pen right now.
Okay, so that's the guy that's going to get out late 8 innings, strikeouts.
I think it has to be. Against a lefty. If not, you're just going with Romano. Or maybe you say, we're not going to worry about matchups.
They needed a reliever or two while they had Alvarado. Now, it's off the charts, their need for the bullpen.
Yeah, because Ranger don't throw hard. Tanner Banks doesn't throw hard. Well, you still got Carlos Hernandez throws some heat.
He does throw heat.
But he's a righty. There's issues, Mike. I mean, there's certainly issues. What would you be willing to give up?
Would you almost have to at this point? You know, he liked to match up guys late in the innings, right? You almost now can't match them up.
Yeah, you got to just go. Romano's your guy in a high leverage.
You got to make Romano your everyday closer.
And Strom your setup man.
Yep.
Right. So there's your eighth and your ninth.
But you need another guy. See, that's the thing. You need another guy as a setup guy. You need two setup guys and a closer.
All right. Now I saw. Our own Kevin Cooney tweeted this out, and I had the exact same thought that he did. Get on the phone with the Baltimore Orioles right now about Bautista. Because they just fired their manager. They're 15-30. The Orioles are a mess right now. I think Dombrowski should call them right now and say, hey, what would it take to get Bautista here?
I'm sure he is. Apparently he didn't call Alvarado, but I'm sure that he's calling Baltimore Orioles right now.
Yeah, you try to get that. And then would you give up a ton for Mason Miller?
I don't think they would trade him. But you would have to give up primo prospect.
You would.
Yeah, you can't get him for the second level prospects.
No, you're probably going to have to include not only Abel but one of your other top prospects.
Yeah, Crawford or Miller. What's his name? What's the guy's name? Come on, second prospect.
Aiden Miller.
Yeah, Miller.
Now, because I said Mason Miller. So let me see here. So Ray, you grew up.
Oh, you were talking. I thought you were talking about the Oakland A's reliever.
I was.
Oh, okay.
So we're saying trade Aiden Miller for Mason Miller.
All right, I got you.
But Ray, so you grew up, you loved the Ryan Howard teams. But then for a big chunk of your childhood was when the Phillies hit that terrible stretch because we exhausted all of our prospects and all of our farm system to try to chase another championship. Would you be willing to do that right now with this core group? Like, would you, if you're Dave Dombrowski, are you worried about protecting the future to go all in with this team? Or are you saying, I don't want to have to live through another decade of no playoffs here in Philadelphia? Like, would you trade Crawford and Miller and Painter and Abel?
That's a really good question. Are you going to empty your bucket just for a chance to win this year? I don't know.
I'm not sure how I feel about it because
I don't think they would do that. I think they would settle for a lesser player that would enable them to give up lesser players for them. 610-632-0975. Back after this.
ESPN's Adam Schefter.
More often than not.
97.5 the Fanatic. All right, this year the Phillies have a good starting rotation, very depleted in the bullpen. In 2008, Bill, very average starting rotation other than Cole Hamels. Who was in their bullpen then?
In 08?
In 08. All right, we go to the top. Madsen to Lidge, right?
Yes.
And then filling in the blanks in the 7th and 8th inning were who?
Well, I'm trying to remember this.
Everybody was effective. Every bullpen guy that year was effective.
And you're testing.
Who was it?
Testing my memory.
Left-hander, 2 left-handers actually, and 1 righty. 7-8 area.
Yeah, I remember the starting rotation, and I can't remember who the relievers
J.C.
were.
Romero.
That's right. Romero was great that year.
Chad Durbin, and they got Scott Air from the Cubs.
And Romero was lights out that season.
2 other guys in that pen threw a lot of innings. It got them to that 7-8 area. Who were they?
I bet you Ray remembers.
Clay Condrey was one of them.
Clay Condrey was one of them. Who was the other, Ray?
Memory, Ray.
So we got Condrey, Air, Madsen, Romero, Lidge. Who else? Right-hander?
Rudy
Cianez. Wow.
Every guy that year was effective.
Man, I can't believe I forgot all these.
Depth.
Guys.
That's what I'm talking about, Bill. Depth. You need that front-end depth.
Yeah. I mean, we knew they had issues in the pen even before all this. So now, look, Dombrowski, I keep saying it. Dombrowski came here with a Hall of Fame resume. And I have not seen Hall of Fame level moves from him yet. Earn it this year now. Let's do something. You got a good team. I love the Jesus Luzardo move you made in the offseason. We'll see how Max Kepler continues to progress.
Oof.
But now Dombrowski's got to do something.
To progress. He's hit a wall.
I know.
That's hitting like 217 now.
We'll see how he goes. They wanted him to be an everyday guy.
You know who's playing a lot better than he is?
Your boy.
Austin Hayes.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Rojas.
No. Austin Hayes.
Yeah, Austin Hayes has looked good this season. I still hate him, though.
Yeah, you hated him. You loved Kepler.
I did.
217.
I know. He hasn't looked great. You know who looks really good? The Serriani treatment. Harper, man, since he shaved his head.
Yeah, he's got a few hits.
Since he shaved his head, swing's looking good.
Let's go back to the phones. Let's go Brandon in Jersey. Brandon, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic.
Hey, guys. How are you?
What's up, Brandon? How you doing?
So, quick question, Mike. I got an analogy and then I got a question. So, my question is, were you cheering for Paul Skeens when he had a no-no going through?
I was very interested. I was very interested in that no-no. I was waiting for them to get to the 8th inning with that no-no, and then I would have decided.
I got you. But
actually, I felt sorry. I felt so sorry for the Pirates that I'm figuring, these guys, when they got that guy pitching, it's a time that they go, we have a chance to win today. I put myself in their head.
I just wanted Schwarber to connect on one fastball because it probably would have went 550 feet. But
yeah.
A quick analogy on this Alvarado stuff. This is like you buying your kid a tutor, paying a lot of money for this tutor, and the kid's grade approved from an F to a C or a B. You're not going to fly out to his college and rip your kid to figure out if he's cheating or not. You're going to say, well, the $10,000, $15,000, $25,000, a.k.a. the nutritionist that the Phillies spent a lot of money on, actually got this dude to lose weight or get better grades. You wouldn't just jump down his throat.
Wait. Slow down here. I'm trying to figure out what you're saying.
I like the analogy.
Wait. What's the analogy again? Your kid, you hire a tutor for your kid.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
And she turned her F into a C- or C+.
Uh-huh.
And you spent tens of thousands of dollars on this tutor down in college. And she improved her grade from an F to a C+. You're going to pick up the phone and accuse your daughter of cheating? You're going to hire a private investigator to go figure out if she's cheating? No, you're going.
It's not common that somebody's going to use performance enhancing drugs to increase your grade. It's a terrible analogy.
It's a great analogy.
It's a terrible analogy. It doesn't even make sense.
No,
spot on.
I'm talking about
these players do stuff like that. It's not like people cheat all the time to do what they do.
Hold on, Mike. You agree that the Phillies spent a ton of money on nutritionists a year. Everybody knows this. Everybody does it in every sport.
Yeah, but they didn't They didn't pay for a private tutor. It's just the staff.
Alvarado's fat ass got a private program to lose weight last
And private program has nothing to do with having a tutor.
Absolutely.
Stop it. Come on.
They gave him a specific program.
Come on, Brandon.
They gave his fat ass a specific program. If he went by it legally, he would have lost that weight, and the nutritionist did his job.
Come on, man. Come on, stop. It's a terrible analogy.
I think it was spot on.
Yeah, of course you did. Alex in Douglasville, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. Alex. Hello, Alex.
Hello, I think we have the wrong name.
Who is this? Are you from Douglasville?
Yeah.
What's your first name?
Howard.
Howard. Sorry, you came out Alex, man. Listen, I'm at the mercy of our call screener. Gabby's having a so-so day today, but go ahead, Howard.
Yeah, I think you ought to investigate that.
Yeah, all right. Go ahead, you're on.
All right, so I think you have a solution. I mean, this isn't a perfect solution. This is a semi-solution for one part. You got Painter coming up. He's going to be on an innings restriction, correct?
I have no idea what's going on with Painter.
Yeah, I think he's at like a 200 innings for the year. That's all they're going to pitch him, or 250. So you make him one of your relievers. There's one. Then you just got to find a left-hander.
Yeah, you don't want to do that.
They don't want to make Painter a relief pitcher. They don't want to derail his progress as a starter. He's a starting pitcher in this league.
Oh, well, hey, it was an idea.
Yeah,
It's a good one.
I got you. It was an idea.
Yeah. Now, we've touched on that before, Mike. When you're coming back from the Tommy John, putting him in the pen probably isn't the best idea for him.
No, because you got to warm up a lot. There's a lot of usage on your arm.
Yeah, so that's probably not going to work out.
No, they're in a pickle, as they say. I like to say, they're in a pickle. I don't even know what that meant, but they're in a pickle.
I like to look up where these sayings come from.
They're in a pickle. Right? You know anything about that saying?
No, I do not. I'm not quite sure where the in the pickle
It's
comes
like an
from.
old saying.
It is an old saying.
Heard it?
Yeah, I've heard it.
They're in a pickle.
Yeah, but I don't know where it comes from.
Yeah, I don't know either.
Yeah.
Bill. King of research here is finding out. What is it, Bill?
I'm trying to find out here. So it says a lot of times William Shakespeare gets credited for it.
They're in a pickle? William Shakespeare?
That's what it said.
They even have pickles when Shakespeare was around?
I don't know. You could pretty much pickle anything.
When was the pickle invented?
Let's see if I can find this out. Let's go to our...
do some research.
I'll do the research during the break.
During the break.
I'll get it for you on the other side.
Yeah. Right?
I was going to ask him to rank his favorite Williams as a fellow William.
Well, Bill Shakespeare's got to be at the top of the list, huh?
What? Who's a better wordsman?
No,
William.
Favorite Williams. Williams.
My favorite
William? On your favorite Williams. You're obviously number one for yourself, but
let me think.
Would he be two?
Billy Shakes. Come on.
Billy Shakes.
Well, this is
Billy Shakes.
This is Bill's rankings, which is why I would say Bill's number one.
Best Williams. See, now you can't include Willem Dafoe. He's out. He's
Got
not
it.
a William. He's a Willem. I don't know, Ray. I'm gonna have to put this. Let me get a list of the top.
There's only
Williams.
one William. The list starts and ends with Shakespeare.
Not true. William Forsythe, great actor.
Who?
William Forsythe.
William Forsythe.
A lot of movies. You know him.
It's not his name.
What about Will I Am?
Isn't it William Forsythe?
No.
Yeah, this dude.
It is?
Talking about this guy. You know this guy.
Oh, that's the That,
He's in a lot of movies, William Forsythe.
he was in what's the Out for Justice, Steven Seagal movie.
Oh, was he really?
Yeah, he was the heavy in that. Literally. 610-632-0975. Back after this.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Alvarado suspended 80 games. I'm Ray Dunn with this Fanatic Sports Update. The Phillies announced yesterday that Jose Alvarado was suspended 80 games due to testing positive for a banned substance. The suspension makes him ineligible to participate in the postseason. The left-hander had 7 saves and a 2.70 ERA in 20 appearances so far this season. Dave Dombrowski was out prior to Sunday's game. How losing him will impact this team's trade deadline plans.
I can't even answer that yet. That's still a while away. We already start looking at our club and keep looking at it, and we'll evaluate how. We have some guys that have thrown the ball well for us out of our pen. We like the guys out there. We'll just have to see how it all fits together.
As for the weekend of games, the Phillies completed a 3-game sweep of the Pirates with 1-0 win behind an impressive Major League debut from Mick Abel yesterday. Abel threw 6 innings, struck out 9 in the win. Phillies now go out to Colorado for a 4-game set starting tonight at 8:40. In the NFL world, we have some news from the Birds that Nick Serriani has gotten a multi-year contract extension. We will bring you details when those details become available to us. Union won over the weekend, 1-0 over Atlanta United. Ty Brew with a penalty kick goal. Union now tied for the top spot in the Eastern Conference. This update is brought to you by the local Rheem Pro partners at thereamteam.com. When you want your home to feel like a dream, it has to be Rheem. Stay cool with a high-efficiency AC system from Rheem, RHEEM. Find your Rheem Pro partner at thereamteam.com. I'm Ray Dunn, your home for NBA playoff action. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Vacation, business trip.
Got me thinking about the Williams now.
I got my favorite.
I think it goes 1-2. William Shakespeare and William Wordsworth.
Interesting. So
Billy Wordsworth.
You forget about
But
William Wallace.
Yeah, that's fictional. Oh no, he was.
He wasn't.
Yeah, you're right, he wasn't fictional. How about William Howard Taft,
president?
Yeah,
big man, right?
How about William Shatner?
William Shatner.
How about William H. Macy or William Hurt?
William H. Macy, great in Fargo. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Now, if you're going to use the last name Williams,
Serena,
Lou
Farrell, Lou Will, Tennessee Williams, Robin Williams, Vanessa Williams, Brian Williams.
There's a lot of them. What about? No, he wasn't a William. Never mind.
Who are you talking about?
No, he is a William. Prince William.
It's right there in the name.
Yeah, he is a William.
He doesn't make the cut. Sorry.
It's not like a Pope
If
situation.
you had to choose William H. Macy or William Hurt, what would you go with?
William H. Macy, but we're missing.
We're missing
a
William
huge.
Hurt's got a bigger body of work.
We're missing a huge William.
Who?
Willie Penn. Talk about William Penn. You pass it on your way in every day.
I was more of a William Joel type of guy.
Please.
Billy Joel? They never called him William Joel.
Overrated.
He was never known as William ever. When he came out of the womb, he was Billy.
Yeah, but his real given name is William.
William Joel.
William Martin Joel.
Did you ever hear anybody call him William Joel?
Until right now when I said it, no. But we're talking about Williams.
So William Penn has to be second on the list behind Willie Shakespeare.
Here in this city.
Yeah. Well, William Shakespeare wins it. I mean, come on.
Nah.
What do you mean, nah?
Nah, I've never seen William Shakespeare perform at Madison Square Garden. When he does that, maybe.
First of all, you're out with this Billy Joel thing.
I don't know.
It's not William Joel.
Just his name's William. It's his given name.
It's not referred to as William Joel.
It's
William Shakespeare. It's not Billy Shakespeare.
Is it William Colarulo?
No.
Yes, that's his given name. He's a William.
It's not William Colarulo. Nobody calls him William.
I email William Colarulo every morning.
That's true.
Night,
anybody call you William ever? Has anybody called you William?
My Starbucks account's under William, so whenever I go in there, it's "Good morning, William."
Stop it.
You think when Billy Joel goes to Starbucks, they call him William?
You have to be known as William. William Shatner is William Shatner.
All right, if we're expanding it to Williams, I think. I hope you didn't say this, and then I get accused of not listening.
Well, of course I said.
Because you threw out a lot.
Go ahead.
Robin Williams?
Stop, dude. Please, I'm begging you.
Does it again. Honest to God. 10 seconds ago, I said Robin Williams. Let's get to the phones. Let's go to Ish in Levittown. Ish, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. Ish.
Hey, Mike, how are you?
What's up, Ish? How you doing?
Hey, you guys are forgetting an important Williams that I don't know if you guys said it yet. Well, I heard you guys have said.
Who's that?
He sung Home on the Range. Home on the Range. Billy D. Williams.
Yeah, Billy D. Williams is a good one.
Yeah, but again, all right. Billy D. That works. Billy D. Williams.
Okay, Mike, you're
Billy D. Williams. You remember Billy D. What was he famous for? 3 things that he was famous for. All right, Star Wars. Brian's song. The great movie, Brian's song. And you ready for this? Colt 45 malt liquor commercials.
He was also in Batman, wasn't he?
Colt 45 malt liquor.
Wasn't he the mayor in Batman?
He might have been, yeah.
Okay, Mike, I think you're so right on this. The history of Venezuelan people it's so iffy, especially when it comes to baseball. Like you said, they're known for using steroids. So the Phillies have all this money. I believe what happened was that, the Phillies were pressuring him so much to lose weight that he had to find a quicker way to do it. And he knew what he was putting in his body. And it's his fault, but it's also a big part of the Phillies. The Phillies should have been there, flew down officials to put him on the program. And,
this is the smartest thing you've said maybe ever. See, you're right on board. You're right in the middle of this thought process. I'd laud you for that.
Okay. Yeah, but like I said, you're totally right on this.
Thank you very much. Ish, I'm Ish approved, Bill.
I never thought I'd see the day.
All right, now you got a shot at Ray, Ish, before we let you go?
Oh, yeah, Ray, I heard you was calling the Union game. Did you go down to the little soccer pitch in your little toozy and started shooting the little the little kickballs inside of the
kickballs.
Dude, hire a writer. Like, I'm serious. It would be a better use of all of our time if you were funny.
Kickballs. That was pretty funny.
Little
Never
soccer pitch.
changes.
Mercedes-Benz Stadium. You ignorant.
Oh, is that where they play? They play where the Falcons
the
are?
home of the Falcons.
Yeah.
you
By the way,
jerk.
do we have the play-by-play?
Oh, yeah, I pulled it once.
I got the play-by-play. We forgot about the play-by-play. Ray
did.
doing the Union game on Saturday night in Atlanta. They fly him in. He takes the charter back. He's riding high, my man. Oh, so here we go, Ray. Is this a Union goal?
Yeah, so they only scored one goal.
They
It
scored
was
one
off
goal.
penalty kick.
They won 1-0?
1-0.
On a penalty kick?
On a penalty kick.
Well, what a thriller.
59th minute.
Yeah.
First
in the
half was-
59th minute. All right, here it is. Right down with the description.
Yeah, let me set this up for you. Because handball, you're going to hear at the beginning of the description of the handball happening, and then.
Oh, okay.
Abram came back, tried to slide and stop it, and threw that hand up into the air just as a part of the slide. Rebo, already with 10 goals this season. The opportunity, the penalty kick. Guzan on his line, jumping into the air. Baribo approaches with the right foot, finds the back of the net. Ty Baribo sneaking it past Guzan and giving the Union a goal advantage here on the road in Atlanta.
Well, but I didn't hear goal.
He
Where's
didn't
the
go
goal?
with the goal.
No goal?
No.
Goal!
Yeah.
How come no goal?
Found the back of the net, gave him a goal
Found
advantage.
the back of the net.
Back of the net.
That's called a goal.
I got
Yeah.
goosebumps.
Go! Come on, Ray.
They've got a 1-goal advantage.
I got goosebumps.
If I do the whole goal thing, it's not, I don't sound authentic to it.
You don't have to go, goal! But you go, goal! He scores! Something like that.
Okay. Noted.
So he's giving you that.
Score!
Yeah. Do that for
Give
your
me one
soccer
of
games. And boom shakalaka for the basketball is my opinion.
I appreciate it.
Good job, Ray.
He scores! You do that.
Ray's
I've
getting
never heard that one.
He's getting some feedback on the YouTube chat.
Oh, he is?
INS wants to know why the different voice.
He does sound different, doesn't he?
You deepened your voice a little bit.
Deepen your voice.
I only really do throw-ins here. I'm not like.
You got a little maturity.
I liked it. I liked it.
Yeah.
Nice job, Ray. Let's see.
Don't keep reading.
I'm not
Don't
reading the
keep
next
reading.
one.
Don't keep reading. Whatever you do, keep moving.
I'll read that one to you off air, Michael.
You are afraid you're going to ever slip when you go handball? Are you?
People are saying, Ray, you don't need Mike's help. Don't listen to him.
Well, okay, I want to fight the I hate Ish because Ish loves Bill allegations. Ish just agreed with Mike.
Yes.
The reason I can't stand Ish is because he's not funny.
Yeah, he's not funny.
If he took digs at me and they were good, my friends make fun of me all the time.
The kickball wasn't bad. Playing your little kickball, it wasn't bad, right? What was it, Bill?
No.
I mean, yeah,
I thought it was a good one.
If we were in elementary
Bill was
school,
laughing.
yeah.
Bill was,
I always laugh because
Bill
I
was
love.
laughing.
Yeah, he laughs at Ish because Ish loves him. That's the
I'm
difference.
talking about elementary school, and you have a sound drop with my throat being open. you worried about
doing that, right? And he figured it out is that you have to open your throat completely.
Yeah, we're all mature here.
Wait, what are we
at the
talking
show.
about? What was that in reference to?
That was shotgun and a beer.
Yeah, but who was he talking about? Who was shotgun and a beer?
Saquon.
Oh, on the Tonight Show.
Yeah.
With Jimmy Fallon.
The key to doing it.
The key to doing it. He figured it out.
Well, it is the key. After all, it's the key. Let's go to Hal. He's in Naples, Florida. What's up?
Oh, Hal called on Friday, remember?
Did he? Yes. Hal did call on Friday.
fellas.
Yeah, now we got you clear.
Hey, fellas, you there? You there, guys?
Yeah, we got you, Hal. Go ahead.
Hey, what's going on?
Good.
Hey, listen, Mike, I heard you a couple days ago, I think it was, talking about the Eagles schedule.
Yes.
I guess about not more wins or losses, but you said you were going to put some money on the Oakland, okay, on the Raiders. Remember that?
Put money on the Raiders? I put money on the Eagles to win that game, not the
You said
Raiders.
That was a great bet. That you liked it.
Yeah, the Eagles will win going away in that game. You can't lose that
Well, I'll
bet.
tell you what. You want to make more money? Forget that game. Take the Tampa Bay game because the Eagles are going to trounce them. I can't wait for that game.
Okay.
That's a suggestion I give to you. Another one is that one and only William Wallace.
Yeah, Bill said William Wallace.
Oh,
Yeah.
really? Okay, I think
Yeah.
that's the best.
That's okay.
But they will
All right,
never
well, thanks,
take
guys. I'm just an
our
old time.
freedom. Oh, what a movie! I got to go back.
I
And
got a
watch
kick out of
Braveheart.
the ruler of Scotland, Robert the Bruce. Right? I mean, that's Robert the Bruce.
Ray, have you seen that movie before? Braveheart.
No.
Ray.
That was so sad, man. She got her throat cut. That lovely lass.
Oh, there it goes. Yeah.
No, that's still early in the movie, isn't it?
Oh.
I think that's early in the movie. That's what sets him on this whole revenge tour.
Yes. Yes. Right.
Well, now I know it sets the scene.
Took his woman.
It's a great movie.
610
That is a great movie.
0960. See, now that's a great movie.
It is.
Okay? That's cinematography at its best. The Mike Missanelli Show continues.
Philadelphia Union.
Show. Coming down the home stretch of the show. If you want to climb in, 610-622-0975. We'll get back to the text board in a minute. We got a lot of text today. You see what John Rahm said after he melted down in the PGA? He was close, but he still wasn't going to catch Scheffler, but he finished terribly.
I watched the meltdown. I didn't watch the interview.
Yeah, he said afterwards that he referenced Charles Barkley. Now, they're buddies. He lives in Phoenix.
Got it.
Charles has a home there. And he says, I'd like to go back a little bit on something Charles Barkley likes to remind basketball players. Like, I play golf for a living. It's incredible, right? Am I embarrassed a little bit how I finished today? Yeah. But I just need to get over it, get over myself. It's not like it's the end of the world. It's not like I'm a doctor or a first responder or somebody where they have a bad day and truly bad things happen, right? So I'll get over it. I'll move on. What do you think of that?
It's a good perspective, I guess.
He used to be a red ass, Rom.
Yeah.
He used to never get over stuff.
I mean, look, I understand his perspective, but at the same time, I think it's okay to show a little fire and be like, yeah, I'm angry with the way what it ended. And,
Uh-huh.
I mean, it's all relative. He's right. Yeah, people aren't losing their lives because of his bad performance, but
you're there to win.
Yeah, he did. Crap the bed a
Bogey
little
and two
bit.
double bogeys across the final 3 holes.
It's pretty bad. And Rahm's usually an excellent putter. His putting was terrible yesterday.
Yeah, I always like to look at the putters they use.
Well,
You ever look at that?
And I've noticed you've been, because we have our little game here we do in the hallways, you've been doing the Scotty Scheffler claw.
Yeah, I do.
On your putting now.
I do the claw.
Did you pick that up from Scotty?
A lot of people do it.
Is it helping you at all?
No. No. Putting is impossible. I mean, let's face it.
It is tough.
Really, who's a good putter? Who could say they're a good putter?
Outside of the pros?
Yeah, those guys make. It's funny. They make 12-footers like it's routine. Like I look at a 12-footer and go, "Oh my god, I hope I don't 3-putt."
The problem with putting, for me, is it's the most boring to practice. Like chipping is fun practicing. Like going to the driving range and hitting your clubs is fun. Practicing putting is so boring, but you need to do it.
I don't like to practice. I don't like to go to the range.
Yeah, you don't like to practice. Now, Thursday, the wife may be going down the shore Thursday night to get a head start on Memorial Day weekend, so I may be able to squeeze in some golf on Thursday after the show.
Oh, my God, look at you.
First time all year. I got to see if I can make it work. Because I do have a haircut.
Yeah, you got to make
head
time
of
for
hair.
yourself. You really got to make a mental time for yourself to play golf.
I have to.
I know
get
you
out
got the kids and you got all family responsibilities, but you need to do something for you.
Well, I'm jealous because all my buddies are going to Casa de Campo for a week-long golf trip coming up.
And you're not going.
I didn't want to leave you and Ray.
No, I don't think it's that at all.
No, my wife's good like that. Like, if I wanted to go, she'd be fine with it. I just felt bad leaving her again. Because I just left her when we went to New Orleans for the Super Bowl. And we had like a 3-week
Well, you're leaving her where? You're playing golf for 4.5 hours.
No. I'm talking about the golf trip.
Oh, the golf trip. Forget about
that's
the
all
golf
the way
trip.
down.
I'm talking about just going out and playing.
Yeah,
You haven't done that yet.
I know. The gym also is a problem.
Well, forget the gym.
That's what I mean. I'd have to skip the gym, too.
You could skip the gym. One thing golf does, it cleanses your mind. You're out there in the open space.
It is.
You know.
I know. I got to get out there. I'm going to try to go on Thursday.
I would
How
miss
many
you,
times
Bill.
has he said, I got to get out there?
I know.
He said it at least 100 times around the office.
Can we get like a jar?
I got to get out.
You just put $1 in every time you say, I got to get out
I
there.
know.
Maybe that'll get you out there. Maybe you could pay for yourself to get out there.
I swung twice in a simulator yesterday.
I got to
and
be
I got
honest
the
with you.
bug
I think your wife should insist on you playing golf.
to get me out of the
I don't
house.
want to give any marital advice here, but Bridget.
What?
You're out there listening. You got to take care of my man here. He needs to go out there and play a round of golf with 3 of his buddies.
I
It's
know.
important for a man.
It is. You get out there, the conversation, the competitive
Beer
juices are
afterwards,
flowing.
Oh, now you're getting him signed up for a post beer as well?
That's the whole thing. See, his wife has to understand that the golf, 4.5 hours, but that's a 5.5 hour thing.
Oh, it's a long day.
You got to spend some time with your buddies that you just played with and, rehash life a little bit.
You know what? I got to get out there.
Let's go back to the text board. Ray, what are the text boards saying today about anything?
Yeah, text board had some fun with the Williams.
Yeah.
People were very excited to get their Williams, most of which we had all kind of covered at this point. We got Alvarado. It was Norm from Mayfair here. Alvarado, it was bad, but you have to apologize to your teammates for laying them down before you bolt.
Yeah, I agree with you on that.
Yeah, again, see, and I know Scott Lauber also said that, how he's going to be received. When a player can help the team, they're not going to judge.
Oh, yeah. If he came back and he could help them down the stretch.
Yeah, they're not going to say, well, no, we don't want him in this locker room. No. Stop.
Well, go ahead, Ray.
I was just going to read another text. Go ahead. Yeah.
No, I'm saying I keep going back to one of my favorite movies of all time, The Program, when Alvin Mack says to Latimer, what the hell did you take that crap for? Not everybody has your ability, Alvin. You do what you have to do to play.
Yeah.
That's Alvarado.
Yeah.
Another texter here. This is 100% on Alvarado. Phillies are the employer, not a babysitter. A grown man in Venezuela. He knows the rules. He should have talked to them before about what he wanted to take beforehand this season. It's ruined if it's his fault. What are they supposed to ask the guy if he's just saying to them that he's on a diet and working out?
See, again, you're going to absolve the Phillies of responsibility, and if you want to do that, that's fine. I think that they needed to be more diligent in this particular situation with the guy who's had a weight problem, who was saying he's losing weight and all that. You got to stay in touch with guys like that. I'm sorry. That's the way I feel about it. This organization should not be absolved from their responsibility.
All right, one more for you here. A new texter here. Why assume Dombrowski's corporate spin on Jose Alvarado's suspension has anything to do with weight loss? I don't believe any drugs indicated for weight loss contain testosterone. Some people use testosterone to try and lose weight. To call this suspension a result of trying to lose weight is not the same thing as accidentally testing positive for this because of the weight loss drug. Total misdirect by the Phillies, and the media has taken the bait.
Yeah, I think so. I think they have taken the bait. And you're right. Like, what was his motivation? Was his motivation to take weight loss drugs? Was his motivation to take PEDs?
Yeah, I mean, look,
and it was like Scott made a good point. When you get out of town, or was it you that made that point?
I said that to you. Yeah,
it was you that made a good point.
Yeah, the fact that he
for once,
the fact that he just quickly jumped on a plane and got out of here means he was embarrassed because he was hiding something.
Right.
He kind of probably knew
hiding something the whole time.
But to that texter's point, saying that weight loss medications don't have testosterone. That may be accurate, but there are certain types of testosterone that do have resulting in weight loss. Like, he could have been taking the testosterone for weight loss. I know this, maybe we're playing semantics here, but is that the right word there?
It is possible. Now, a byproduct of it, I'm sure that he knew about.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I think Alvarado probably knowingly was taking something that he knew would violate the PEDs. And the effect of taking that was, I'm going to lose weight, I'm going to build more muscle, I'm going to get more in shape. But he had to know what he was doing. Because you're right, he would not have jumped on a plane. It would have been like, guys, listen, I'm really sorry. I didn't realize what I was putting in my body. It wouldn't be, I'm getting the hell out of here and not talking to anybody.
Right.
I want to push back on something I'd rather text.
Go ahead.
That's just, this is mean.
Push it
so
back.
don't text this, guys. Hey, Mike, how come nobody drug tests Bill after all these shows?
Meaning that I would have to take drugs to put up with Mike?
No, meaning that I filtered out the word bad. They're saying that you're struggling here, and they want you to be drug tested for some of your takes. According to
you know
this
what's funny?
texter.
You know what's funny? I saw on the YouTube chat, too, and I think these are Mike's lackeys. Somebody puts in there.
Mike has no lackeys.
Somebody puts in there like.
Mike has enemies, not lackeys.
Someone puts in there, Bill, I don't understand how anyone could be more wrong than Bill with his takes. And I asked him to tell me, what have I been wrong about? Like, come at me, and if I will gladly take it. I've admitted I was wrong in liking the Paul George signing. Outside of that, I don't think I've been wrong about a single damn thing in 200 shows, which I think today is 200, isn't it?
It's not. It's tomorrow.
Tomorrow's our 200th show?
200 shows.
Really?
I've been wrong maybe once.
We're going to do something special for that.
Bill, just
a
listen
cake
to
with
Mike.
200 on it.
You are getting something special. You and Ray are getting breakfast sandwiches at my expense because I lost the bet.
Yeah, I love how I got roped into this. This is
well,
great.
If I'm going to bring in one in for Mike, I feel bad for you having to sit there and
bring everything for the class.
Starve.
You're going to bring egg in for him?
Please.
You know what's actually what I want you to do. Are you going to say, well, is the one without egg cheaper?
No, what I was going to do is I was going to tell you that they must have got the order wrong because you were going to get double egg on yours.
Yeah, don't even try it because you'll have an egg sandwich you'll have to eat and there'll be extra calories.
Double egg.
Yeah, here's some of the takes. Here's sometimes what I think when I hear you.
What an idiot.
I keep that to myself. Sometimes that's a thought that I think about.
I don't think I've been wrong about anything outside of Paul George.
Idiot.
Like, outside of the Sixers and being excited about what they did this offseason, I don't think I've been wrong about a single damn thing.
Whoa. Okay. Listen, you got the Serriani thing correct, and I'm very thrilled for you on that one.
What else? What else have I gotten wrong?
It was week 4, and Howie Roseman had never drafted a good defensive player ever.
No. I stand by that take. Go back and look at Howie Roseman's draft history prior to the last 3 years with what he did on the defensive side of the football. My exact point was defensive tackle. He only drafted solid defensive tackles. They missed on every edge rusher outside of Josh Sweat. They missed on every linebacker. They missed on every safety. They weren't drafting corners high in rounds, but even in the second and third rounds, they were missing. Go back. I stand by it.
You just added there before the last 3 years. You just added that part.
Yes.
But now it makes you seem right because you added that 3 years part just now. You didn't have that back then. Also, they can't win with this offense with something that we started running with here. Listen, you've been right. You got your Serriani thing right. You had a good run at the end of the Phillies season. But let's a little bit of accountability here. We have all gotten things wrong. To pretend like you've only gotten one thing wrong in 200 shows is a little much here.
I believe it's only been one thing. And when we talk about the offense, see, this is the thing you got to understand. Me saying, can they win a Super Bowl being the 29th ranked passing offense and then presenting evidence that no team had ever done it before, I don't think I said they can't. I posed the question because it's good conversation. Mm-hmm. I never once said they can't win the Super Bowl with this offense. The question was thrown out, and I said it was answered against Pittsburgh. That yes, they can. And I declared this team a Super Bowl contender long before anybody else did here. So get out of here, Ray. That's it. I'm walking out. I'm pulling a Mikey Miffs.
What you're doing what?
Remember you said you were walking out? Because another thing that I suggested that I was right about was that they were going to put Edmundo Sosa in left field that night. And Mike literally walked out of the studio, and that's exactly what they did. So where's the guys in the YouTube chat?
That was just a wild guess. And I told you that it was the wrong move, and it turned out to be the wrong move after one game.
You know what? Double egg for you tomorrow. Nothing for you, Ray.
I'll starve anyways.
Listen, give me the rosemary and sea salt.
Yeah, seriously, text me your order so I don't forget.
Rosemary, sea salt, sausage, and cheese.
All right. Text it.
That's bread.
Bacon, egg, and cheese.
Ray just wants a bacon, egg, and cheese on a plain bagel.
I want a warm bagel, too. It has to be warm.
If it's not more for everything, I would love it everything.
And by the way,
everything.
Don't toast it. Do not toast my bagel.
Ray, do you want yours toasted?
Please have mine toasted.
Oh, man, you guys are hard. Wait, hold on. I got Ray's.
You're ruining a perfectly good bagel by toasting.
Wait, what's yours,
The
Mike?
fresh bagel should not be toasted.
That's just bread.
What are you getting, Mike?
I'm getting a rosemary, olive oil, and a sea salt bagel.
Okay.
With sausage and cheese.
That's very foo-foo of you.
Yeah.
Rosemary, olive oil, and sea salt bagel.
Right, with sausage and cheese.
With sausage and cheese.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay?
All right, I'll see what I can do tomorrow.
All right. Yeah, you lost the bet. You should see.
I guess I was wrong about that, too. I guess that would be the second thing.
That bagel cost you about $9.
Oh, man.
That's all right.
It's all right.
You get a bagel for yourself, your bill will be $30.
A Lannister always pays his debts, Ray.
Oh, my God.
Ray doesn't know that reference either because he didn't watch Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones.
Oh, yeah, I'm not big on the Dungeons and Dragons thing.
My goodness.
It's I wasn't either. I'm the last guy to go there, but I got to admit it was admirable the way they put that thing together.
It really is good.
It's a tremendous production.
That was probably my original, I don't feel like doing this, was when everyone, when I was in high school, was like, Game of Thrones, man!
Well, I forced myself to watch it because people were talking about it, and I kind of got hooked into it. So, Ray?
Of your recommendations, it's not the first one that I'm going to go to.
No, Ray, you're so far in the hole here with the recommendations.
Well, that's also it. At this point, do you even push forward to try and catch up, or you just stay behind forever?
Just jump on Mobland because it's live. We could react to it on the air.
I thought we were binging.
We can't react because then we give it away.
I guess you're right. We can only talk about shows that are 5 or 10 years old. But Mobland's excellent. All right, I think we're out of here.
Right.
Late night tonight for us, staying up watching the Rockies get beat by the Phils.
Yeah. Fantastic team, the Rockies. All you young kids at home, study how they play the game. Thanks for listening, everybody, and watching the show. We'll be back at you tomorrow. Take care, buddy. Bye-bye.